had to bring out the mic for this reaction show. Oh my god, what a Survivor Series! And we're here for a reaction show with Wrestling with Honey and the Heel Heat, the Casual Survivor Guy, and the Inca Chief. The show. Like, okay,
my God,
the show was what we like. I think Jay said it best. The show was what we expected, but the ending was not what we expected.
Nope, not at all. Not even bro, we didn't even get a Randy heel turn. Like, bro, I was fully expecting, like, yo, when's he gonna RKO Cody? And then you get the sticker at the end, and I'm like, bro, we really about to go out with like no swerves, just straight through and through pay-per-view.
Let's all right, let's go.
Wicked.
I still have a headache.
Save the working matches for the end.
Both of them, yes.
Gunther Miz match was what we thought. It was a good one.
It was a good one. Again, my only criticism is I need more chops. Like, I need more ruthless chops from Gunther. Like, well, I don't know why he suddenly stopped chopping people so much, and like, you know, like ground beef in their chest or whatever. Like, I need battle scars from Gunther. Like, your man used to digging holes and taking souls. Like, what? I don't know what's happening. But like, fam, I need that ruthless aggression back. Like, that's it. Like, I get it. We know you can wrestle. We know. The match, I have a wrestling match. I need you to somebody up.
Right. I agree. I agree that Miz did do his part and looked great doing it. He made himself look like a veteran. But the match kind of wasn't that spectacular for me. It just didn't have that boom factor. It didn't have that Gunther versus Drew or Sheamus or something like that. It didn't give me hard hitter. Like, it just
even
gave
Gunther
me
versus Chad.
Right. For Gunther versus Chad, it didn't give me that. Like, it didn't give me anything like that at all. But
I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting just a good, decent match. I wasn't expecting like a holy shit.
It's hard to refer to anything involving Gunther and the Miz being mid, but it kind of was mid.
It was
like, you have the Hollywood A-lister and you have this motherfucker on a come up of breaking all types of people and records with not only with the Intercontinental belt, but in the future with other titles, I'm sure. But it's like, how could y'all? I don't know. And I guess maybe they were just saving the space for what was going to happen later. Maybe that's what it was, or I don't know. I personally, like I said, if y'all were watching yesterday, I said I thought I was really expecting to see Maurice's hand pop out somewhere, helping him hold the rope and doing anything he can till the very last second. Like, I was expecting a little disappointment, something different or whatever, but no, I guess not. But it was a good match overall. I give that match like.
The only time I thought that there was actually possibility of them pulling the trigger was when Miz literally kicked him in the knee and kicked him in the nuts and then hit him with the skull crushing finale. I was like, oh shit, are they really? I thought
there would have been a shot with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, one. I was like, oh shit. Two. I'm like, oh, and I'm like, oh, okay, no, they're just teasing us. I got you. But that was a good one. Like, calling it close right there.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good one.
And I'm disappointed that there was nothing else involved. There was no other elements to the match.
Yeah, like, that's a thing. It's like
if Miz would even try to cheat with a weapon, or at least fucking Ludwig Kaiser try to come out to get back in Gunther's good graces again, or Maurice, like I said.
It was a little too straight for me. That's the thing. It was a little too straight for me.
Too regular, yeah. I didn't like it.
Yeah. It felt like a Monday night title defense, not a pay-per-view.
Like I could have saved that for tomorrow. I could have watched that tomorrow.
Like, this match could have happened tomorrow, and like.
But y'all made such a hype about it. Like, Miz was gonna and that's why I was saying. That's why I predicted Miz would win that. But I was totally not right.
But didn't we say that though? I said yesterday. I was like, we're gonna fantasy book ourselves into so much hype that if they do anything less than what we think they're gonna do, it's going to be a disappointment. And that is exactly what happened. There's nothing wrong with this match.
No.
But there was also nothing exciting about this match. It was very like, okay, that was a good match. Like,
yeah.
Very.
And it started. No, it didn't start the night. I'm surprised they had it in the spot that they had it in the night because
I mean, it was a good cool down. That's the thing. It acted as a cool down when I never expect Miz and Gunther's matches to be a cool down.
No.
And that's a part of the problem is that like this was your like, oh, I'm so high off the War Games match that like, okay, like I gotta cool down. Like I gotta relax. And I'm like, this should not be a match to like relax.
Yeah, no, the actual cool down match is the next one I'm talking about, which I think to me personally, because I'm looking so forward to it, was the Escobar and Dragon Lee match.
Right.
That one disappointed me and not the match itself or what they did, but the storytelling within the match and whatever could have happened around the match.
It had the same element
Right.
as Miz and Gunther. Like there could have been more to it. It was just seemed so bland.
It was straight. Like it was like Dragon Lee lost to him clean. And, like,
and that's fine. And me and Russell when we were talking about it. The only thing that came out of that match is literally saying Santos can win with no help.
Yeah.
That's
it. But it's
that's the only statement they were making.
But
to
it's
make him look
not
strong because he didn't look as strong with
thing.
LWO.
It's not a win that you needed for him to get to make him look strong. Like again, Dragon Lee's an up and comer. Dragon Lee should lose this match.
Mm-hmm.
So for it to say that like, oh, this is a match to show that Santos Escobar can win, it's like,
yes.
If he didn't win, I'd be concerned. Like I'd be a little like confused if he didn't win.
If Santos didn't win that, I would have been like, oh my god, they're gonna flop on my boy. They're gonna flop on my boy.
And that's the thing. Dragon Lee,
the
Dragon Lee, you can get it because it's like the guys that he's beaten and the matches that he's had are not of the caliber that you would expect Santos to be. Right. So Dragon Lee losing this match is like, okay, cool. We can revisit this down the road, and the babyface is probably going to go over. Mm-hmm. For me, it's like this was an opportunity to really establish Escobar as a threat. This match didn't establish him as a threat to me because there was no ruthlessness, there was no interference, there wasn't any extra, meat to it. Like
maybe not so much. Yeah, maybe not so much a threat, but that I guess put on notice somewhat because more is gonna come with it.
Right.
Because I was expecting Garza and Humberto to show right up and help this motherfucker win, but I was like, you know what? Maybe it's because they wanted to show, they wanted to also not only acknowledge Santos as a second or third generation superstar, but they also wanted to put that notch on his belt for him to win a Survivor Series. Like what I'm saying, like put some respect on his name. Like he's somebody you should look out for, but he's not Gunther.
But here's my thing. If you were going to do that, then I don't understand the story choice to write out Carlito. Because I feel like him beating Carlito sends that message.
I feel like him and Carlito being his muscle sends another message too.
You going to keep pushing that narrative, bro. Like you just going to keep pushing that. You and Paul just going to keep pushing that. That's not the story we're telling here, guys.
Because I know that. I know. But like
that is not the story we're telling.
Right. You're right, but we do want Santos to look strong. So I guess what we want to know from here is how do we make him look strong going forward after last night's win?
Again, this is when it's like of all the times where they've incorporated the LWO where it didn't make sense for them to incorporate the LWO. This was the time where you needed to incorporate the LWO and you did nothing, and it's like And it's like, then why you have Bad Bunny and all of them go through? Why did we do all
they were teasing that last year into Rumble and Monday Night Raw or SmackDown or whatever, and then they had a match at Backlash, and it's like, why didn't you stretch it out? Why didn't you bring Bad Bunny back or bring some more meat and potatoes into this feud? Because it could get nastier.
Like
it could.
It's just dry. It's like, okay, he beat Dragon Lee. What's he gonna do? Come out and cut a promo? Like, okay.
Like, okay, you're gonna brag about beating Dragon Lee, a newcomer.
Yeah, great. Like that's nice. What y'all gonna do? Run it back on Raw?
Like you want a cookie?
Yeah, like you won. It's like when people get hyped when their team beats a team that they're supposed to beat. It's like, okay,
but this is like a match. This is a match that could have happened on Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah, exactly.
Another one of those matches where it's like, this could have been on Monday. Like I need to see this now. Like if you're gonna give me this now, like give me something. Give me something.
Put me on
that's how I felt about this pay-per-view overall. the match quality, but like this could have been. This didn't need to be a P. This could have been a Monday Night Raw with like the exception of the War Games matches.
And I am still searching for Shinsuke's Open Challenge. Can anybody find that? Like, what happened to it?
Apparently, it got cut.
What happened?
Apparently, it got cut.
I can't find like.
Apparently,
Oh
it
my
got. I
God.
guarantee that it's probably going to happen tomorrow.
It needs to now. It should.
Probably going to happen tomorrow.
I mean, it's got like the tomorrow. Like Raw is gonna get.
It's gonna be a good one because
Cool.
CM Punk is a free agent, so he's gonna be flipping between both.
Is that what
But
it is?
that's my
Is he a
thing
free,
too. Like
free agent or?
clearly, like
He is?
him and Randy are clearly free agents. Because again,
Well,
Randy
in terms
never-
of speaking for us, yeah. Like they could flip flop between all the brands.
right. So it's a situation where it's like, I think the Shinsuke thing was supposed to lead to a CM Punk thing, but then also creative and no one else really knew that CM Punk was coming, so there's really no way creatively to incorporate him. But I think that there may have been whispers and they were just like, you know what, we're going to write this way so that if this is an angle we can use if we want to use it. If we don't want to use it, then we don't have to use it.
I mean, we think about it. Let's think about all the people that made CM Punk references.
There's a lot of people.
Shinsuke did it. Michael Cole and Seth did it. Corey Graves did it. Like, and I'm thinking about like what Corey Graves did it at a certain moment when I guess I don't know if somebody was on commentary or if he was talking about a certain person at a certain match, but I feel like whenever there was a CM Punk thing mentioned, those are future targets.
Yeah.
I think I've come to that conclusion because I'm just like, okay, we gonna get anything now. We could get anything now, but we're not into the CM Punk part yet.
No.
Let's wait till the end.
The next one is a Zoe and Rhea Ripley, and that one
Eh.
not what I expected, but it's like I told you guys, it's the way. And I look at matches, I look at them like as a like dancing because they're partners. And
Mhm.
I felt like Rhea was dancing like R&B, and Zoe starts dancing sexy red. It's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Like, and it's nothing against either one of them. They're both good at what they do. It's just
they are, but
match.
the styles didn't mix well.
Yeah.
It didn't mix well at all. And
And-
Rhea was dancing to Candy Rain while motherfucking Zoe's dancing to "That's my best friend." Yeah, and it's like, yo, no, find the rhythm. You need to follow the beat.
Yeah.
Find the beat.
Yeah.
You need to flow with Rhea. At the end of the day, you need to come get this 90s R&B because you're not flowing right over here, girl. You need to take it easy. She looks
in reality, I think if they find the rhythm, it could be a good match because Zoe Starks is a kind of like a power hitting wrestler,
Right.
but it's just
She's
they
a monster, man.
Yeah, it's
And
just
they're similar in style.
Oh,
yeah,
gosh.
it's just they couldn't find that rhythm. That it's just one's going at 124 beats per minute, one's going like at 90 beats per minute. It's like, so.
I mean,
but
mommy looked strong. Mommy won. She did what she had to do.
I like that one part where like she was literally she was doing I remember she was doing her finisher or what. She lifted her, and I don't know if she lost the grip when she pulled her up.
Oh,
Zoe was
yeah.
like, get out of it and then fix her and then just
Flipped
planted
her
down.
and then got her. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
She's beast, man. She's beast.
Strong.
Between her and Bianca, those girls are strong, man. Those
yeah,
girls are so motherfucking strong. It's not even funny.
it's no joke. It's like they can wrestle with some men and hang with them.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
Those two, yeah. All right. Going to the women's war games. This was the best way to start the show.
Yep.
It was fire. It was fire.
It really was. It really
I was shocked because I was like, oh, okay, we're getting with the ladies first. Okay, ladies first. Let's do that.
I figured they're going to do that. I figured they were
juicy.
going to get the men to the end because there was a lot more drama with the men than the women.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like the Santos match, personally, but I'm fine. I'm glad. Just bring me right into the action.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that.
the highlight that I liked was when Io freaking She sits there and she puts a trash can and then you see her hands. And I'm like, is she trying to fly or what?
My dad called me. He was like, "Yo, Io Sky, man." I was like, "Yeah, Dad." I was like, "She did the same thing in the last in War Games when she was in NXT. She fucking put the dumpster on her and jumped." I was like, "Girl, you better." I said we need to crown her. We need. I think we need to. I think we need to crown Io Sky Miss War Games. I think we need to do
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Miss War Games.
She always,
I said it.
brings it. Always brings
Yep.
it. And I like how
Yep.
she was using both rings. She like at the beginning when she first came in, she like was on top on the ropes on one ring, walked to the other one and jumped. I was like, fuck, man, she is the female Ricochet, man. Like
she's nasty. But go ahead, Jay. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say when I seen her climb up, I was like, she's doing the spot. She's doing the spot. And they did the whole clip thing where like they kind of use like the
they were
like a dumb waiter. I was like, yep, they're doing the spot. They're doing the spot. And then she put it on her head. I'm like, they're doing the spot. And then the only thing that kills me is it's like it sucks that like
she did the thing. She did the thing.
But it's like, again, this is one of those times where I'm like, there are two people in WWE that do that they are perfect for these matches. Like you need them in these matches. It's Io, and then it's Ricochet. The problem is Ricochet isn't at the level Io is, from a being over standpoint.
I would have put AJ Styles in place of Ricochet.
I don't because I'm very concerned. Like if AJ Styles was just coming out of TNA and was like 10 years younger, I could say that. But with AJ Styles, it's like he's explosive, but you can even say his wrestling has been a bit more grounded than he has in the past, which is why I don't put him in that conversation.
Montez Ford.
Like, yeah,
Montez Ford would be nasty.
Montez, like that group, that faction would be great for a War Games. But again, it has to make sense. I say all that to say, like, I knew Io was going to do something special, and Io didn't disappoint. And what I love about it is that when the crowd is behind Io and the crowd is into a match, Io matches are amazing to see. But when the crowd
I love her, man. I love her, but she gives you a reason. She makes it exciting. And then, and honestly, for Charlotte's first War Games, I'm not mad at her.
No, she's not. Again,
she looked great. Her moonsault was great. It was beautiful.
My only issue with the moonsault is that, like, you almost kind of wanted her to give you a little more air on it. But I can understand why she did it, and she aired on the side of caution.
A little more hot.
Yeah, like I need a little more oomph to that back. But it was like, all right, you don't want her to like do a 360 and then end up landing wrong and like kicking somebody in the face or something. So like, I'd rather than play it. But
if you put Montez Ford up there, that motherfucker hot.
My man, you seen what he did in the Elimination Chamber, the tag team Elimination Chamber with Lucha House Party. Like that's all you need to reference to know what this man can do in a match like this. But I say that to say it's like the only person I'm actually disappointed in when it comes to this match was Kairi Sane. I expected something that was a little less anime and a little more grounded in terms of like, show me the storytelling, don't show me the spectacle.
Right. I wanted her to be a little more threatening to me, not so much playful.
Yeah.
And I wanted a nastier elbow. I think I deserved a nastier elbow.
I wanted
it should have been all the way at the top, jumping for that nasty elbow.
Like a scream, something. Like I wanted a little bit more, and I hate to say it, American aggression.
I think she gave away what she was going to do when she was like skipping to the ring.
Yeah, it's like
I'm just like, I'm like, oh, we're getting this. I'm like, damn it, because I was like, as soon as she went down, I was like, oh no, please tell me you're just joking.
Like if she didn't do that. Like, I would have found it more cooler if she had just slowly walked.
Mm-hmm. Like, if it was more like a saunter.
Yep. Very Uncle Howdy. Yes. Like, just, I'm coming for this. You know, I would have
preferred a little more aggression and just like walking and just talking. Even if it was in Japanese, I don't give a damn.
Just,
like,
absolutely.
Recite a food menu. I don't care because we're not going to know what she's saying.
Like, if you could have taken some of Victoria, remember Victoria, she would have her crazy fucking psycho screams and shit. put a little sprinkle of that on her, then that would have been okay.
I do like the spot where Bailey saved her from the spear.
Yeah, but that was it was a good spot, but it was still a little clunky. Like it was a little like, why
It
are
got
you standing
messy.
here? Like it wasn't like she's going to the spear. Oh, let me move her out the way. It was more like you see the spear, go. And it's just like, that's my only issue with some of the women's matches is I can see you calling the spot before the spot, so it kills the spot. It's like
Right.
I've seen this, like it's not even like she's across the ring, one corner. Okay,
Right.
let me see if I can time it right. It was more so like, I'm gonna grab you. Oh, we're standing in the middle of the ring. Okay, go. And it's like,
Okay, I'm gonna get hit now.
It's like
It was very rehearsed looking, and it shouldn't look like that because Bailey's a vet. It shouldn't look like that.
So this is the thing. What I noticed watching it and paying attention, the women's match was like, so what they were doing was they were doing everything they needed to do, but it was like instead of going like a full 10 speed, they were going like a 6 or a 7. Yeah, kind of like being extra careful.
Yeah,
like I saw a lot of them. Like I saw a lot of the spots. They're like, you see the swing of the candlestick, and you hear the smack, but you don't. I hear it slapping her, but I don't feel it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like in regular matches when you hear it and you feel it because you're like, golly, that shit just popped back up. She didn't pull it up; it popped up because it hit so hard. Here it's just like, and I'm just like, they're going through it. They're being extra careful, and I get it. Nobody wants to get hurt, but you're not selling it enough, or you're not doing it
you have to make sure the person on the other side, like, bro,
I'm not saying
you just got smacked with a kendo stick. Pretend you just got smacked with a kendo stick.
Yeah, or make it like. And the thing is, they're wearing protection. It's not going to protect them 100%, but like when the guys get hit, and I know the bodies are different, but it's like when I'm watching the matches, even with veterans like Becky, I'm like, she's not. This is not normal Becky. When she does a spot, it's wow. Here's like,
it's extra. It's flashes of lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, I'm just like, with the War Games match, it was still good. I'm just saying, like, I felt like they were being super careful with each other. Yeah. Which is a little concerning because sometimes when you try to be so safe, you can actually hurt somebody without trying to more.
And not for nothing with the War Games matches we've seen in the past, like Dakota Kai, Tegan Knox involved, and all these other people, and DIY, Undisputed, Viking Raiders, like y'all gotta keep that fast pace because that's kind of what I wanted. I felt the match was slow. I wanted like Viking Raiders. These are two big behemoth men, and they made that match look fast.
I mean, just go to last year.
Undisputed, other small, they're not that small, but they're not that big either. Not as big as Viking Raiders, but it's like they matched up to their speed. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to keep that fucking high pace, fast pace, especially in a War Games match. It's 2 rings covered by 2 cages. You better speed it up. Like the way the men started was perfect. Perfect.
Perfect. My whole thing is I'm like, okay, Seth doesn't have any of the kinesi, whatever that type of tape is for his back.
Tape, yeah, he don't have it.
Your man straight up said, got in the ring, you heard the whoa. Next thing you know, your man's yeeting over a ring and attacking Finn. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah. Whoa. So
he said Usos. Whoa.
I'm like, wait, sir.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing? Okay.
Yeah. I said, okay, let's get right into it. Okay, Seth, that's how you feeling? You feeling good tonight? You must be feeling good tonight.
It was a very interesting choice for it to be Finn and Seth in the beginning too, because it's like that's how this whole thing really started. Was the whole Finn and Seth thing, and I'm like,
Finn and Seth. Yes, you're right.
That's how this whole thing got reignited.
Wow, I didn't even piece that together. Wow, that's fucking.
Told you,
Triple
storytelling. The storytelling, bro. The storytelling in this match was so good.
Yeah.
We're gonna end. We're gonna end and have a conversation about Mr. Triple H, fucking Paul Levesque, because continue.
Yep. Because like that's what I'm saying. The women's was good for what it was. It was a good starter. It did it. It wasn't a bad job. It was good for
No.
what it was. A good show. They put on a great show. The
Although I
men
will
though.
give I
Go
will
ahead.
give the women credit for the last few years that have killed it because
Yes.
the last few women's war games have overtaken some of the men's. Remember, we were
And
even
that's-
saying
yeah.
some of those were better.
That's
Like-
the thing. That's why I feel like we can comment on it because the bar for the women's match is so high.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yes.
it is
Yes, it
so
is.
high. So it's a
Mhm.
situation where you're like, my expectations are up there. Like you got to keep making it better. And it's like,
Mhm.
it's not that this match was bad. It's just
Yeah.
there were clear things that put it a slight notch below the standard that we're used to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I
That's
think
like
it was
14
I think it was
nothing.
because people were trying to play it safe, like we said. People
Mhm.
were trying to protect each other. They were trying to play it safe, and it was a little shaky. Like it was a little
Yeah.
shaky.
And like I'm not saying don't
Mhm.
be safe. I'm like be safe, but it's like you're being so safe that
You're-
you can
yeah.
give it away. You're giving it away.
Like now y'all look green.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So going
Exactly.
And y'all are all vets.
Exactly.
They were all vets in that match.
all vets.
All
the only,
vets.
Charlotte
The
was
only one that wasn't
war
a vet
games,
in war games was Charlotte, but she's
Right.
a vet still.
but still held her own though in her own way.
Yes.
You know, so going
Absolutely.
to the men's
Isaiah Pacheco.
the men's was on a whole different level. That the storyline for the men's was it was insane because of the fact
Mhm.
they
And you know-
followed it to a T how it's supposed to be.
You know what's funny?
You know what I'm saying?
That
You know
match
what's
was
funny is that,
fucking
again,
rude.
I talked
Rude.
myself into so much hype for this match that I found myself still disappointed that Randy didn't turn and that the cash in happened when it happened. I'm like, what? Like the cash in was just a way to get Rhea out to the thing, and then Rhea had no effect on the match, and it was just like,
That was the annoying part.
it's like, what? Why are we still teasing this? If like now it's like the main event in Raw is now getting to a point where it's so crowded that I almost don't care anymore
Right.
because it's like
I
now,
get that. I get it.
now I can't see Damian having a lengthy reign because it's like you have now so much there that it's almost like, okay, yeah, give Damian his reign, cool, fine, but like I kind of don't want to see it for more than 5 months. Like if it gets over 5 months, I'm not going to care anymore.
Jay, I'm telling you right now, it's not going to carry that long. It's not
It's
going to
not.
carry that long. It's
I
not.
feel
I
like
don't think it is.
I feel like it's going
I
to be
think-
the Roman Seth Rollins
'Cause
thing where like he's going to win it and
I
everything's going
hear
to be
you.
cool, and then somebody's going to screw him.
I totally hear you, but what as I'm hearing you talk about it, I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, why else? As you're talking, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, why else would they have Rhea there? Oh, I got it right here. To keep telling the story of the fact that Damian Priest can no longer rely on the Judgment Day. That if you want something done, you got to get it done yourself, and you cash it in yourself, and that's why he's gonna go rogue and leave him, and he's gonna take the title. Then it's gonna start some beef with him and Finn in the future. I don't know when that's going to happen. But I feel like that's if there's a reason why they had Rhea out there, because I know, granted, it does look crowded and it's like they're teasing it too much. But
Yeah.
the first time it was JD McDonough.
Mhm.
The second time it was Rhea. And then the first time it was Finn when they lost the titles. Okay.
And then it was Dominic.
And now and Dominic also. So
Mhm.
Damian Priest is about to blow his lid and be like, fuck you, you and you. I'm out. And I'm gonna do my own thing. Because like I said, I'm the leader of this shit. And whatever happens after that happens after that. Transpires whether they jump him or whether he betrays them or goes rogue or however they make it transition, or if he wins and then they turn on him, like, and they pretend to like him, like who knows where they're gonna go. Because Finn's been giving, we talked about it yesterday, Finn's been giving a lot of side eye. Damian's been acting up, and Rhea does not acknowledge anybody as the leader but her. You know? So if there's any reason why they had Rhea out there, I think it's because of that. To tell the story of the fact that he can't rely on any single one of them.
So here's the thing. The Money in the Bank contract is good for 1 year. From the Money in the Bank show until the Money in the Bank show the following year.
Mm-hmm.
The Money in the Bank was what, July?
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's June, July.
July,
So
yes,
I
July.
got 6 months to make this happen.
I remember it was July.
And it's
So
like,
you
are
you have
6
the
months?
possibility of if he, because now we ain't got to the Royal Rumble, right?
Mm-hmm.
So either he cashes at the, because he's not gonna cash in on if he cashes on a TV show like on Raw or SmackDown, whatever it is, take SmackDown out. He's not gonna cash in on the Tribal Chief.
No, he's not.
We
And
100%
he's not
can
winning.
say
Roman has to be there for him to cash in on Roman.
right. But I'm saying like it's not just that, but I mean taking the belt off Roman on a freaking cash in, you kill all the time and effort you
Everything
put
that he did.
in that bloodline storyline. You kill it.
Yep.
You kill it.
Yep.
Even if he shows up on Friday SmackDown, you kill it.
It only makes sense for it to be Seth.
That's it. Yeah.
Or it could be NXT too.
I don't see it be NXT.
I mean, I don't see a reason for it because there's not enough depth to their story, to that story. But
Yeah.
Seth and
Yeah.
Damian Priest
So
would make sense.
you have him cashing in either on
Rumble.
Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber,
or
at
WrestleMania.
Mania, at Backlash,
Or the night after Mania, or that, but whatever Monday night.
That's my thing. Is it's like, all right, if you wait till the night after Mania, right? You do one of two things. Because let's say, for example, he's going to cash in on Seth, right? Everyone believes that the person to face Seth at Mania is going to be Gunther at this point, correct?
Oh,
Like,
okay.
He's the favorite.
Yeah.
He's the favorite, right?
I get
So,
that.
You screw yourself if that's not the match, right? If that's not the match and you put Gunther in a different situation for Mania and wait yet another Mania to coronate him as your now face of that division, you also then screw yourself because you do all of this to build Gunther just to have him lose the next night on a cash-in.
That's true. That's true. And with
Like,
what
Gunther's
he
not
did,
the type,
yeah, he's not a scrub.
he's not the type of dude to get caught out there on a cash-in. He's just not. He's not that guy.
Whether you look,
Okay, Paul, I can't
whether he's
frozen
looking over
or
his shoulder. Oh, he is. He's not frozen. His
He's
eyes
frozen.
moved.
Okay.
He's
Now,
not frozen.
There we go.
I was looking at the longest range for the IC title.
It's his.
They
They said that Gunther's reign is only 60 days below the totality of all of Miz's reigns put together.
and that's fucking nuts because Miz has been in the game for how long? 20 years?
Like 15? 12 to 15? I don't think it's been
going on.
No, it's been almost 20 years because he came in like the mid
2002.
Yeah.
2003.
I don't know if it was
2002.
2002. Yeah, it was.
Because I'm
it
thinking
might have
about
been
reality
like,
TV era. I'm thinking about reality era.
Yeah,
And
you
real
might be
world.
right.
Oh, he broke it. What's the honky tonk?
Yeah,
he been broke honky tonk.
it. They had a whole celebration for it.
Yeah, that been over. That's why Chad don't have it. He been broke the honky tonk. Honky Tonk Man is just a name in history now. Like, we don't even got to talk about him no more.
Honky Tonk is just the Elvis impersonator.
Yeah, at this point.
What was Honky Tonk's reign though? How long was it for?
Don't even fucking know. I don't even know why.
453.
He had it for over a year. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Honky Tonk Man.
And before him, it looks like it was Pedro Morales.
Yes.
At 425.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's the question is, okay, so what do you do with Gunther now with that belt? You know what I'm saying?
Gunther still has the belt, so now what's next? Like, who's
so that's the thing. That's what I'm saying.
The
like,
next challenger, or are we getting Gable and Gunther part 2?
And that's what I'm saying, though. The thing is, like I'm saying, like Priest, you have those 4 pay-per-views for him to cash in before it literally gets down, snapped, and disappears. It's no longer valid.
I don't think Priest is gonna go for Gunther.
No, I'm saying though. So we know he's going for Seth. This would be the most annoying thing they could do, but the funniest shit they could do. He never cashes it in.
And again, it then makes Damian Priest a joke. It makes Damian Priest Baron Corbin.
He'll look worse than Baron Corbin.
He'll look worse than Baron Corbin because
That looks worse than cashing it in and losing it seconds later.
Exactly. You can't. This is why they keep booking themselves into a corner by all these teases and not doing it and giving Seth this extended reign when realistically his reign should have ended 3 months ago.
We know for a fact since the beginning of this year that all the reports said that the WWE is very, very high on a Hispanic champion very soon. They're just milking it because you see who the fuck Triple H is and the kind of bookings he does.
But again, sometimes you can do that, but at some point you miss your moment.
Yeah.
I don't want Priest to miss his moment. I don't want him to miss his moment.
Because then it's like Damian gets the title, and then there's still this groundswell of like, well, Gunther has to be champion now.
Well, so you want to do it, then fucking when you have CM Punk versus Seth at Mania, fucking make Priest cash it in, insert himself in the match, and win.
Again, even in doing that, you chop Gunther out by the legs, because by not giving him that WrestleMania match, you make him feel less important than CM Punk. And you can't do that.
Elimination Chambers in Australia? What the heck?
I guess I'm excited to see what happens next.
And that's what I'm saying. It's one of those where it's like I'm excited to see, but I'm also very nervous because it's like, all right, we've now
Gunther might lose at home.
And that's what I'm saying. But again, Gunther might lose at home, or is it a situation where Damian is crowned at WrestleMania, and because his title match isn't, that's the thing. It's a situation where almost like Gunther's the favorite now after last year, and it's almost like Triple H keeps doing this thing of like, I know what you want, but I'm not going to give it to you. And it's like, this works sometimes, but sometimes it just gets annoying. Okay. Because I could see it being a situation where we get the CM Punk versus Seth at Mania. People are pissed off. Nobody's really into the match. Say, for example, Punk wins, which will piss even more people off, but Damian cashes in on Punk, effectively turning Damian babyface. And then you hold off the Gunther reign until Bash at Berlin, and you put the title on Gunther in Berlin. That's the only way it would make sense for me.
Here's another way.
That's sick though. That's
another way. Because I'm looking at next year's schedule. January is Rumble, right? Mm-hmm. February is Elimination Chamber, right?
And they're in Tampa.
April is WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. Backlash is in May. Bash in Berlin is in August.
Right.
Where's Money in the Bank?
Where's SummerSlam?
So
wait, didn't they announce SummerSlam?
Nope.
So here's the thing. Remember, like I said, the Money in the Bank contract is good when you win it until the next Money in the Bank.
If they have Money in the Bank in Puerto Rico, because they had such success in Backlash, he's definitely winning then.
It's not just that, but look what I'm trying to say. Money in the Bank could be towards the end of next year, giving Damian Priest a longer.
But that's it's not. It doesn't say contract Money in the Bank to Money in the Bank. It says you have a full year from the date that you won it to the date the next year, which is in July. Yeah. It's not from Money in the Bank to Money in the Bank.
I thought it was Money in the Bank to Money in the Bank.
No, it's you have a year cash in.
Let me see.
It just happened that Money in the Bank they was doing a yearly thing.
Yeah, because they made Money
in the Bank. Remember that time
when
they made a joke with Paul Heyman and Brock?
Remember, the Money in the Bank was at Mania at first, before it got its own pay-per-view. It was at Mania.
It was a match. It was the name of a match in Mania. Money in the Bank ladder match.
It used to be from WrestleMania to WrestleMania.
It was kind of like Judgment Day. It went from a pay-per-view name to a group.
Okay, so it goes like this. This is what it says. The winner can then cash in the contract at a time and place of their choosing, anytime within the next year.
Yes,
within the next year, beginning the night they win the briefcase. If the contract is not used within that year, it is voided. But this has yet to happen. only the holder of the Money in the Bank contract can be the one to cash in the contract. So that's it. So when did he win it?
It was like whenever Money in the Bank was this past year, which is
July,
I think.
early July.
July 1st.
I remember only because it was just after Matt and I came back from Hawaii, and we were contemplating on splurging and going to Vegas right after to go see Money in the Bank.
Okay, so he has till Backlash, the pay-per-view Backlash, to
Yep.
cash it in.
Yep.
Because if he waits till he can't wait till Bash in Berlin. So the only thing I can think of is all right. Hear me out. Gunther wins at Mania. And at some point after Mania, either at the end of Mania or at Backlash, Priest cashes it in and wins. And the rematch.
Gunther wins one at Mania?
Gunther beats Seth at Mania. Priest
Oh.
will either cash in at Mania after that match or at Backlash, and then Gunther and Priest face off again at Bash at Berlin. Because Bash at Berlin is in August. There's no way he can cash it in. So he has to cash it in before. It's either at Backlash or at Mania.
I suppose Gunther can beat Seth and maybe do that, but I don't know how I would feel about that though, because it's Damian Priest and it's Gunther. Like Gunther's looked so strong for so long. Like it's hard. Like I don't know if Damian Priest is the guy.
I got one for you.
That's the problem. It's like you can't
off of Gunther. That's what I'm saying.
Wait. You know what I mean? We can have a repeat of the Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns again, where Priest cashes it in during Seth and Gunther, makes it a triple threat, and he pins Seth, not pinning Gunther, keeping Gunther strong and winning. That's one way of doing it. Where
and establishing Priest more as a heel again. And then Gunther's a face, I guess.
And that's
turning
the thing.
Gunther
You
face.
want to make, because that's what I'm saying. I don't know if Gunther's truly a face.
He's not. I know. I don't think I see that. He's like
I see him definitely more as a heel.
Yeah.
So and that's a part of the problem with having this like you've built this monster heel, and Damian's been a threat all year, and now you come to the end of the year and like. Now it's like, so is he gonna cash in like on a regular day?
Yeah.
Is he gonna cash in at Rumble? And it was like, if he cashes in at Rumble, that means Damian has it for the WrestleMania season, and then beats Gunther. So you do all this to lift Gunther up, and you pull the Cody again.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. I don't. They can do it like they can do a triple threat, and Seth gets pinned, keeping Gunther strong.
Again, so then what is the point of having Gunther then? Because my whole thing is that like this is reminiscent of Cody all over again.
Right, but you can have Gunther and Priest go back and forth, thus going into the Backlash and then going into Bash at Berlin.
Right. But again, this now you open up a situation where Gunther is now built to be so strong that you're telling me now that him and Priest are on par with each other? You know what I'm saying?
It goes back to they painted themselves in the wall for not having Priest cash in when he should have.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. Like that's what I'm saying.
I don't know if I like it. That's
what I'm saying. There's no way to. There's like they painted them like this was the last.
I don't see Gunther going after the title just yet either. Not yet. And Gunther's not. I feel like and Gunther's so respectable. He's not going to be a guy who goes after somebody when they're weak. You know what I'm saying? Like he wants you at 100%. He wants a fight. Like
we have to wait and see what happens at Rumble too, because we have to see who wins the Rumble on the men's side. If it's Gunther or if it's somebody else. Because if it's Cody, a lot of people are gonna be pissed for Cody to win it.
Again, I think Cody's moment.
I know who's winning this Rumble this year. I'm not saying it. Till the Rumble.
In order to make it be a situation where you can feed both sides of what you're doing, you can feed both pipelines, I think having Cody earn the shot at Roman in the Elimination Chamber is way more fruitful than it is to have him win the Royal Rumble back-to-back years. That's all I'm saying. Because winning the Elimination Chamber, to me, in a lot of ways, is a harder feat. Because he would be coming off the loss of the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, if you put him against like some very tough competition as well too,
right? And you do it from both shows. You make it so that like we have the competition for the world heavyweight title. We have it be a certain way. But for Roman to defend his title, like Roman needs an opponent. And it's like, then you go back and it was like, all right, we're going to do an Elimination Chamber match of all of Roman's previous opponents that are still in WWE. That means you have Cody, you have Jay, you have Sammy. You can put Jimmy in there if you want to. You can put Solo in there where it's like, it's Cody versus Bloodline. And then you put Kevin Owens in there, and that's the Elimination Chamber. And whoever wins gets the number one contender shot, or the number one contendership for Roman's title. And then you can use that to spin off to like Jimmy and Jay or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think Cody's winning the Royal Rumble, or at least that's. I don't think that's the best move.
I just know, I just know that I'm going to be very excited because we know Roman's not coming back to the Rumble, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of things are going to transpire before that day even comes. So who knows what we're going to look like by the time Roman comes back, whether Raw or SmackDown, whatever. But I do know that I am going to be very excited to see what music hits after Roman is like, continue to acknowledge me, because we haven't had that moment in a while. We need Roman to have a good match, be victorious. Like, that's what I thought was going to happen in Saudi Arabia. Like, I was going to be like, all right, who's next? Whose music we going to hear at the end of this match? Like, I think we're due for that moment at the Rumble. And I think that's what's going to happen with that. But I don't know who he's going to be facing by then. I don't know what's going to be happening by then. I don't know who. This Rumble's going to be nuts, y'all. Alone, like regardless of the 30-man match and the titles, there's no telling where Gunther's going to go. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Happen.
I'm not sure. But I mean, Gunther was a favorite to win last year. He could win this year. I think Gunther would definitely be one of the obvious choices as a favorite to win the Rumble this year. I think at this point,
you look at, like, I think there's actually a line, and I think Gunther is the odds-on favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a funny thing.
I think that what's going to happen this year, somebody's going to get. I think fans are going to get pissed off this Rumble. That's what I think.
I believe so.
I think fans are going to get pissed off at the winner of this Rumble because it's going to be someone who they least expect, and it's going to be like, why?
And it's going to be someone like that. They don't want. And again, you can't say honestly, you can't see it being a press conference and say, if the fans want it, we'll do it. When it comes to bringing back CM Punk, and then turn around and say, well, the fans don't know what they want. And it's like,
yeah. Now let's talk about this real quick, because I need y'all reactions, because mine got spoiled, Mr. Anderson. Mr. Joe Anderson.
Mr. 98% just kind of screwed it.
In the hot seat, sir. You in the hot seat today. We hope you watching.
We tapping, bro. We knocking on the door. Where you at, sir?
We see you. You spoiled it.
But oh my God. Like, when I was watching it, I already knew what was going to happen, but I was watching it, I was like, shit. I was like, okay, they're celebrating. Hey, thank you everybody for coming. And then you hear, I was like, oh shit. And you hear everything. I saw your reaction on your video when you were live on the replay. Jay, what was yours?
Literally, my reaction was just one of those.
I want to
like-
know Jay's first, and I'll get into mine.
It was really like y'all for real? Like yeah, what? I'm like, wait, hold on. Who signed the treaty with Satan? What? I think Triple H's caption kind of summed it up. He's like,
a cold
really
day in hell.
Yeah, he's like, oh, it's a real cold day in hell. I'm like, you think?
It
It's blizzard
did.
conditions in the damn Sahara at that point.
I gotta look outside.
wait,
Are we in the upside down?
When he said
Where's
cold
it?
in hell, was he referencing Florida? Because it's kind of cold right now. So is that why it's cold over here?
Y'all don't understand what cold is. 60 degrees ain't cold. Shut up.
I ain't cold.
We
I'm just
cold.
saying
We
for the-
cold. We
for the
cold.
Floridians.
Bro,
cold
we
up here.
out
We
here
cold.
with 30 degrees and frost, bro. It's cold
We
up here.
cold. We cold. There's ice on the grass. There's ice on the grass. Whatever, Paul.
Word.
Damn.
But so many emotions in one ran through my head. My husband was here and we had a friend here. I was yelling, screaming, ranting. If you look at my video, I went through so much, like everything left my face, like my soul was taken out of my body and I was just screaming. And I'm yelling at the TV because I'm like, no. Like, I don't want this to be true. Like, you got to be kidding me. No. And then I see him walking out and I'm like, oh my fucking God. Oh my
I
God.
thought
I
it was
like,
a Miz type situation where, like, you know how they had like KO supposed to come out for the Grayson Waller effect, and then it was
oh,
Austin Theory.
I was telling her when you started the way before we started recording, I was like, yo, this shit would have been funny if it was Grayson Waller, Austin Theory coming out like, gotcha.
Yeah, like that's what I thought it was. Like I thought it was
I'm like, y'all joking, right?
like,
You're
t-shirt or
joking.
something.
I
Like,
thought it was a joke.
Triple H trolling.
And
And
I'm
then you
looking
see him,
at
and it's like-
looking at the screen. I'm seeing the fucking thing, and I'm hearing the song, and I'm like, no.
But
And he
come on,
comes
it's a
out,
joke.
and I'm literally yelling at my camera, and I go, "Really, Triple H?" I'm looking dead at my camera. I tagged him in it too. I don't care. Really, Triple H? Like, really, Hunter? You gotta be fucking kidding! And I kept screaming at the TV. I was like, "You fucking shit!" Like, I was just cursing at CM Punk. Like, you put me through all of these emotions for years, you son of a bitch. But okay.
And that's
You're
one of
here
those.
now.
That's how it feels.
You're
It's
here
like,
now, and I guess I'm okay with that. I guess I'm okay.
I think Cody kind of summed it up extremely well. He's like, listen, if you're here to push the products forward, then welcome.
Yes.
Welcome. If you're here to
For
make
business,
everything
real
better,
business.
and to join a locker room that's really collaborative and everyone's about making this thing so much better and learning and growing together, and it's a very positive environment and it's a very team-based environment, then absolutely cool. But if you on that tip that you was in AEW, but no.
Don't bring that shit over here, Phil.
Don't
bring that
bullshit
shit
over
over here, Phil. And I understand Seth's sentiments. I understand. We all saw the clip. Seth's face is everywhere right now.
Yeah.
His reaction is more viral than us.
I literally stayed off my phone because I was enjoying the moment with being in the wedding. But if I was on my phone, I was literally checking the score because of watching the Florida State game. I'm like, shit, come on, guys. And we won. I was like, yes. So phone was away. Literally stayed away just to avoid any spoilers. And I saw you guys were going through, and I was like, okay, I see the talking. I was like, all right, I don't know what they're talking about. Like, clear.
Yeah.
That's what we really did not.
We were trying to talk on the side too a little bit. I'm just like, damn, I don't want to fuck it up from Paul. I'm like, bro, you seeing this shit? Like,
that's what, like, everybody's like, are you seeing?
He
this?
jumped.
Real?
Jay
like,
jumped on live with me as soon as he appeared in my video. I said, get in here. We need to talk right now. And
I'm
we're
like
just looking
sitting
at
on
each
the
other.
couch and
We're
I'm
looking
like-
at each other like
like,
really? Like, are we really gonna talk about this now?
I'm
we
like,
this really
that
just
happened?
happened.
once I found out, I was like,
This happened.
what the fuck? The first thing that came to my mind was Jay when he said TKO got the money, they don't care. Whatever pushes the product better. That's all they care about.
That's it. That's where we at right now.
As soon as I saw him, I was like, fucking Jay, man. Fucking had to mention
TKO.
I
TKO.
was screaming.
That's
like,
what I said.
Screaming at my
I
TV.
constantly said, I was like, listen, it's not likely, and I'm not banking on this. But if there was ever a chance for this to happen, for this to come together, it is this moment in time because of TKO and because of how they've redone the structure in WWE and how they've essentially iced Vince out, where it's like now
that old man
really has complete control. So any animosity from any former stars, I think, unless like again, they even asked him about Jon Moxley and the concussion thing. Jon Moxley's issue is directly with Triple H. So I don't think that situation will get resolved. It was never a Vince thing. It was he went directly to Triple H type thing, and Triple H was like, well, Triple H's response was fine. It was like, I'll put my medical staff up against anybody's. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. I don't know what his thing is, but I trust our medical staff. And I'm like, there is so much underlying stuff when it comes to WWE and Jon Moxley specifically that I don't know if that relationship really is ever going to get mended. But again, I can truly never say never.
Well, you have exactly for once. We can truly never say never. And you got two other men that were in the same group with that man that could be able to help mend those fences.
Right, but I think that one is going to.
And they're top guys.
I think that one is going to take a lot more time, and it's going to take for the wrestling landscape to change a bit more. Mm-hmm. So where the opportunity with it, because at this point, I'm starting to feel, and people are going to hate me for this, and I understand this. I'm starting to feel like there are tiers in terms of companies more so than ever, and AEW at one point was in the same weight class with WWE and New Japan. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think WWE and New Japan are in a tier of their own, and AEW, MLM, all those other places they consist in varying tiers in that second tier. Like I truly believe that the spectacle and the amount of star power and the styles and the reach for WWE and New Japan are so far and above everybody else that everyone else just can't compete now.
They're just ahead of the game, man. They're ahead of the game. They always have been.
And it's just, but that's the thing. There was a moment where WWE wasn't ahead of the game. It had nothing to do with the money. It had nothing to do with any of that. It was from a creative standpoint. People were looking for something different creatively because they were tired of the same BS. That's why NXT blew up the way it was. That's why AEW was able to become what it was. But I do think that AEW's product has kind of fallen off a cliff this past year in terms of the stories that they can tell and just overall their product. It's kind of fallen off where the quality just it wasn't
it's repetitive.
What it was. It's the newness of it is now gone.
That was rough in the passer.
It got stale like a pack of open saltine crackers after 15 days.
All right, it's sharp, but okay.
Wow.
All right, man.
I'm just saying,
but yes,
it sounds crazy as fucked up, but it is because at the beginning, everything was great. They had storylines. It was annoying because Cody put himself in this awkward spot where he could not contend for the main title, making himself the literally focal figure of the gatekeeper of the main title. A lot of people were pissed, and I get it because they were hearing shit from people like, oh, now because you're in your own company, you can have all the belts that you want and this and that, which I think kind of hurt them in the end because the Young Bucks couldn't get a belt, Cody couldn't get a belt, Kenny couldn't get a belt.
Yeah, even though Kenny had a decent reign, but like,
yeah, it's like it's messed up because that already hurt them as it was because the main stars that created that started it all couldn't literally be put on the pedestal that they so much deserve to be.
And Cody refused
coming after
what
them.
It is that Cody refused to be a heel because that would have worked perfectly if Cody was a heel and he was that corporate. And I think he just didn't want to be compared to Triple H in that way, where he then becomes the corporate. Wow. But like it would have worked for AEW because they needed that. Now it's like AEW has moments. They have stars. They have guys that are really, really talented. But the overall product has kind of fallen off. I don't know who their bookers are. I don't know who their producers are. But it feels very like late stage WCW for me personally.
It's feeling to me. It's feeling like the time after the Attitude Era, like with a lot of the like that you tend to forget.
Yeah,
That's where AEW is at from the standpoint of WWE. Like after Attitude Era, before where we're at now, where it's like you had people like that you don't even know. What's the one guy? I can't remember.
I'm just waiting for somebody like a Glacier to show up at AEW.
Yeah, like kind of like the
where
mid
I'm at.
2000s, the mid the
Or
late
Disco
2000s,
Inferno.
early 2010s of WWE. That's where AEW is right now. It was just like hard to watch because there was nothing there, you
right.
know? But it's like, yeah, you're waiting for a Glacier, you're waiting for a Disco Inferno, you're waiting for the
Alex Wright.
no, the one guy from WWE.
Well, they have that with
the Asian cowboy. What was that? Who was that guy's name?
The Asian Cowboy.
Yeah.
From
Jimmy Wang Yang.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Jimmy Wang Yang
my
to show
lord.
up.
I'm waiting for
You know?
for Funaki and Takamichi Noku to
Yeah. I'm waiting for a Hurricane to show up.
yeah.
That's how it's getting, like, you know.
Yep. Kamala and them.
Right. It's and I feel bad because it's like I didn't hate the fact that there was another competitive source, but I agree that like you bring in now your veteran guys that you know are needle movers, and now you have multiple needle movers. Where like again, this is a pay-per-view you went through, we can talk about. We haven't talked about since Saudi Arabia the fact that SmackDown has no titles. SmackDown has no titles. The only titles that SmackDown that you see visibly are the tag titles. It's the only title you see. But it's almost like
who's the United States title holder?
Logan Paul.
Fuck, I forgot.
See,
him and his Brock Lesnar ass schedule a little bit.
The product has been so good that we have not noticed that the top two titles on the show are not there. That to me speaks volumes. That they're still able to tell the stories that they need to tell, and the only titles you have to give any levity and any importance are the tag titles, and the tag divisions are still the weakest divisions in the company. So
the North American title makes more appearances anywhere than on SmackDown alone than a belt than anybody else's belt.
When was the last time Dominic defended that title? 2 months ago.
Didn't he just do it just recently? Or
no,
he has a match coming up.
He has a match coming at Deadline next month.
The last person was it Wesley?
No.
He's
about to. I think the last person.
Who was it that who?
I think it was Dragon Lee.
Yes, it was Dragon Lee because Rey Mysterio came in and helped. That was the same NXT that Undertaker was there and all the
Yeah, that was the last time. That was the last time that the title got defended, which was like a month or so ago.
That was literally just last month. Just last month. That's crazy.
Again, you get what I'm saying? Like the product is at a point where a couple of, and I still stand by the fact that there needs to be a lower tier middle card title. I still stand by that.
Oh yeah,
and,
for sure.
And a lot of people keep saying, "Oh, we have too many titles." No, we don't.
No,
we really don't. We don't. Because this would have been the perfect. This is the opportunity that you have to make that title as relevant as Miz made the Intercontinental title. Because now you would have a chance to elevate this lower tier title, where then you can see the guys that are going to jump into the mid tier, so that like you have guys to wrestle LA Knight and Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar and all of those guys. But right now, you know what I'm saying? Like right now, you don't really have anything for those guys to fight for.
Even the women.
And also, I was just gonna get into that, Paul. And also, whoever the fuck booked Chelsea Green and Piper to get the belts the way they did, just hand it to her, and they're not even fucking defending these titles half the time. It's like, why is that?
Because
Why
they
is
don't have
that?
tag division. They
Well, it's
fired.
not just that.
But why
It's
do
not
they
just
even
that.
have that? That they should vacate them and do a tournament. What? Hello, women's tag team title tournament. Because we need women's tag teams anyways. There's a few on NXT you can snatch up. There's a few that you could damage
There-
control girl could figure somebody out.
There's
Like-
still not enough. That's the thing, that there's still not enough, because now you're pigeonholing women because you want them to hold different spots. Because again, they hinted at something coming up as during the press conference when they were like, well, now that Becky and Charlotte are kind of back on good terms, like, what does the future hold? And it's like, clearly they're going to work towards them being a tag team. Clearly.
So they're
That's
trying to Bailey and Sasha them then.
Yes. Essentially, yes. And that's fine because you don't want them near the world titles. But again, this also then this shows the overall glaring problem of like, there needs to be a women's mid-card title. The NXT title should not act as a women's mid-card title.
Why isn't there? I always wanted a women's intercontinental championship.
I don't know why it doesn't exist.
I always
wanted
that.
You can have two titles. You can have the women's intercontinental title, and then you can have
United States.
You can have I was gonna say TV championship to kind of differentiate a little bit.
Okay.
Well,
okay,
again,
there you go.
I think the issue with the TV championship, like that moniker,
But I just don't want to be like AEW.
That's what I'm saying. It feels very early 90s indie when you say TV title.
I mean, WCW had the TV title.
I get what you're saying, that they've had it, but I'm saying the name itself is so associated with like ECW, WCW. It's so affiliated with that portion of the WWE like monolith that it makes it feel like, it makes it feel almost like the 24/7 title. Versus when you say intercontinental title, there's some oomph behind it. There's some,
it's universal.
Yeah, like it's like, oh, we're doing a women's intercontinental championship, which means we're trying to build women the way we did Shawn Michaels, the way we did Brett, the way we did like the way we did Austin, the way we did those legends. That's how much credence and respect you're giving to that title. You need to come up with something on the women's side that gives you that kind of feeling of like, okay, no, this title is important. It's not the world title.
It's reputable. It's prestigious.
Yes,
as the Miz would
that's
say.
the word I was looking for. Prestige. It needs to have that kind of prestige. What that is, I can't tell you, because a woman's U.S. title is like, feels a little,
maybe not
in a lot of ways,
but I feel like, all right. Well, if anything, I think at least 2 or 3 versions of the title should be mimicked around what's already out. Tag team titles for men and women, world heavyweight title for men and women, universal title for men and women, if you want to do that, because you have 2 world champions. You got Seth and Roman, and you have more than one. You have a few women who are capable of doing that at the same time. And then intercontinental. And then I was thinking of something else. Fuck.
United States.
Oh no, not even for NXT, North American Championship as well. I feel like women should get that too.
I mean, again, the only issue with that is then it kind of it confuses the brands. If like you had a women's North American title on NXT, I get it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
But you still need a third mid-card women's title. Again, creatively, you would have to come up with some sort of concept that gives a level of prestige and worldliness that makes it so that this woman represents a higher echelon in WWE. You're not quite the world championship, but you're in an elite tier just below. And like, this is the woman, like with the Intercontinental title, this is the woman that we see as the future. Like
Right.
this is
Because
someone
that's how they used to build it back in the day.
right. And that's the like it's almost like you have to do a women's US title, but I just the way that sounds just sounds kind of off, if that makes
Well,
sense.
see, here's the thing: you had the top tier, right? You
Mhm.
had the mid tier and had the lower tier.
Mhm.
The lower tier, like this is when I was from WCW days. The lower tier was always on TV, which was the
Mhm.
TV title. It was
Mhm.
always that's why I was called a TV title. It was always being it was the working man's title because you're always
Mhm.
defending it, all
Yeah.
that stuff. Then you
Yeah.
had the United States title, which was Intercontinental, which
Mhm.
was there was so often, and then you have Big Goldie.
At one point, it was also European Championship.
Well, that's the thing for WWE. Their version of that was you had the hardcore title
The
where
UK.
well, no, we're talking even before that. We're talking the
Oh,
hardcore
okay.
title where it was like this was like the things wanted when you wanted guys who weren't necessarily that prestigious and like clean. These were like this was like the you're in the mud kind of title. Then you had the
Yeah.
European title for like once you kind of crossed over from like light heavyweight and hardcore, you know, you kind of jumped into like that European, that lower mid card where it's like you're wrestling people of different sizes, different weights, but you're all are kind of jockeying for position. Then it was the Intercontinental title where it was like, okay, you've proven that you're capable as a European champion. You're proven that you're capable in that realm. This is a little step up where it's like it's semi mid card guys. You got guys who were in the mid card that still kind of dabble in here. And once you got to the point where you were the Intercontinental champion, that was an announcement to the world that like this guy's up next. This guy's big time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you move to the main tier.
That's what they need. They're
That's
doing it with
that's
Gunther. They're doing it with Gunther because we're seeing Gunther in that progression.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm
Because
saying.
he's definitely the future
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now we're having
for
the discussion of like,
champions.
now what are you going to do with Damian Priest? Because now you have Gunther, who you built to be this monster and really restored the Intercontinental Championship to be that, like, this is the guy that's about to break the glass ceiling on the main event. Now you have that. The problem is
You don't want to fuck up Gunther's reputation, but you also want to put Priest over.
exactly, and you can't do both.
No,
can't.
not at the same time.
Not
You
at
have
the same
to stretch it out. You have to stretch it out and
again-
create a rivalry for them.
But
the
that's
only
the thing.
the
And
only
it's
way
like,
I see it is you storyline take Gunther out.
you would have to. But then it's like, okay, so then does he get hurt where he's not in the Rumble?
Gunther's
It's-
not going to be in the picture for the title until he loses that Intercontinental title.
And-
we all know that.
And again, now you have a month because the expectation is for Gunther to win the Royal Rumble. My biggest thing is he can't then lose the Intercontinental title after he wins the Royal Rumble.
No,
You can't have him take that loss.
no.
Unless
So I get
the only way that works is if he loses it in a throwback Intercontinental title ladder match. Or
Something where
match
he's not pinned.
where he does not have to be involved in losing the title.
Right, he doesn't
Mhm.
get pinned.
yeah, that would be
And
the
then-
only thing that makes sense. We would have to take Gunther out of the equation for the title picture. I guess just not pull the plug on that yet.
Exactly. And I think that you do that. You can do that at a Royal Rumble. You can do that at the Royal Rumble. Where actively he loses the title and goes into the Royal Rumble
And then wins and gets
wins.
an automatic
So-
ticket to the main
so-
event at WrestleMania.
So there's no reason for him to look back and say, "Oh, I want my title back." There's no
Well-
reason for a match because he's already like, I'm above that.
The one
I
thing to
had the
do,
title, and
he
it
could
took 6
relinquish
people-
it.
Yeah, that's the thing. But if you relinquish it, then you diminish the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, true.
Well, I mean, after you win the heavyweight title, you're like, okay, I have no need for this, so let me leave it out there for somebody else
But
to go.
that's a baby face move. He's not a baby face.
I feel like Gunther would look pretty official with a Money in the Bank suitcase in his hand.
There's also that would actually be that would be the best way for me to have your cake and eat it too. Because if you do a situation where you need Priest to have a lengthy reign, you make it so that like Gunther can't compete in the Royal Rumble, therefore doesn't get the main event. So everyone's pissed off, and Priest then cashes in and has the title, but Gunther wins the Money in the Bank next year.
Right.
And you start, and you have,
and then you're like, oh shit.
And Damian being the champion would make more sense because he understands the power of that title. So now he's extra paranoid on top of all the people that he's crossed in his climb to the title.
Damian Priest is going to come to a point where he's going to be paranoid and not trust anybody around him, and he's going to go rogue.
Well, not just that. Think about this. You could have a great match with Gunther either going against Damian Priest or Roman Reigns.
You don't want Gunther to touch Roman.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying if you think about it, I'm like you're like thinking like, holy crap.
I also wouldn't mind Gunther
here.
I wouldn't mind Gunther being the one to end Seth's reign and send him away.
But that's my thing. If you do that, then what do you do with Damian?
Yeah, they're stuck in
that. That is my thing. That's where
then, but then maybe. What did you say, Paul, when you were reading about the Money in the Bank? You said it's never been done before, that nobody's cashed in their contract and it's become null and void?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. He runs out of time, somehow inserts himself in the Money in the Bank match, wins it again, then cashes in.
But as I said, like
you're chopping off somebody else to make up for your own mistake. You're killing someone else's momentum. That's my point, is that like you can't then say, oh, but wait, and then it's like, so what was the point? What was the point of the?
And that's the thing. The whole you.
So then you have to take Gunther out of that situation, and you got to take Priest out of that situation, and think of something completely different and go back to the drawing board.
That's what I said. Like, the only thing too long. The only thing I look like, yes, they waited too long. The only thing that
maybe they did
works is it's crazy. Like I said, it's crazy if it works. Gunther wins Royal Rumble. Gunther faces Seth. Damian Priest. They lose the titles at Mania, and comes back. And it comes back to the whole. You're in Judgment Day. You need to have a belt. If you don't have a belt, blah blah blah. Priest was like, "Hey, I'm secure. I got the briefcase or whatever." And Finn's like, "Oh shit!" And then Priest activates the Money in the Bank, makes it a 3-way, wins it, pinning Seth. And Gunther's like, "What the fuck just happened?" And then again, you have Backlash. You have Backlash like the month over, so that's a great storyline right there. Gunther Priest Backlash, and then he either wins it at Backlash or it extends it, and then you have Bash at Berlin.
And that's the thing. If you then have Damian beat Gunther at Backlash, that kills Gunther.
But you know nobody wins at home, though.
He doesn't have to pin him. It could be a DQ.
It could be dirty.
It could be DQ because you have two factions.
So that's the thing. But again, you're booking Gunther as if he's the babyface in the situation.
Nobody has to be a babyface.
But that's the point. Yeah, you do, because somebody has to be the person that gets screwed, which is the babyface. Somebody has to be the guy who gets hit in the head with the gavel.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna end up being like Hogan and The Rock. What happened in that match? Who going to that match? Who was the heel? Hogan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who was the babyface? The Rock.
And then once transitions, they started booing The Rock. It switched.
You let the fans when the point a point in time when it comes, the fans will let you'll go with what the fans vibing with. You know what I'm saying? It sounds crazy.
I think
I know what you're saying. It sounds
at this
crazy.
point, never say never is a very broad term, and it can mean anything.
Yeah, it's literally. I feel like it's you're booking yourself into a complicated situation for no reason.
Well, I mean, it's their own fault because they didn't pull the trigger.
The only thing that and y'all gonna hate this, and I hate it just thinking about it. If you somehow do the cash in at deadline, you somehow do
first.
No, deadline.
You mean him cashing in on Ilya?
No, I mean him cashing in on Seth.
Oh, Seth.
But you have to have a reason for Seth to be there, though.
Exactly. But again, considering that technically is the last pay-per-view, that's really your last chance.
For the year, yeah.
Yeah. unless again you want to wait until Royal Rumble, and then it's
and pull an edge.
Yeah, and it's like he wins it at Royal Rumble, then it's like, okay, that's cool. So is it Priest versus Gunther, or is it a situation where like Gunther's gonna go after Roman, and you're just like, well, you're gonna have to wait again for Cody because we fucked up.
Here's the thing too, though, because logically speaking, the men's is going to be the main event. The men's Royal Rumble is going to be the main event at the Royal Rumble.
It always
Right.
is. Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's either the men or the women. It's one of the two.
Right.
If Priest cashes in at Rumble, it will give us a hint at who would be the winner of the Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
So if he cashes in and wins, I'm afraid to say it. It will not.
Cody's gonna be a back-to-back winner.
He might, but remember, if Cody does win it, it's to go after Roman. So I don't think it'll be Cody. I honestly don't think it'll be Cody. I think I agree with you. I think they rather give it Cody getting that title shot at Roman again at Mania through the Elimination Chamber.
I think the Rumble this
working
year,
hard angle. Like
I
you said.
think, I think the Rumble this year deserves a heel winner, and that's all I'm gonna say.
The problem with that is if you get a heel winner, then there's clearly only one champion to go after. Which again,
not if they're trying to turn Roman face towards the end, because I think that's the plan in the long run.
After everything they've gone through, I don't think that.
Not yet. I'm not saying tomorrow or next year, but I'm just
sorry. I didn't hear what you guys said. Somebody called me. My bad.
Oh no, you're good. No, I was just saying, like, if you're trying to turn, like, I was just responding to what you said because you were like, with Roman and everything like that, there's only one champion you can get to. Not if in the long run, if you turn Roman face, or if that's what you end up doing after all this tribal chief bullshit years from now. I don't know how long that's gonna take.
But here's the X factor. The guy that just showed up last night.
I don't feel like
we don't know. Like I'm saying, what I mean is like we don't know who he's going to be feuding with. For all we know, he could go feud with Gunther, and literally, you know what I'm saying, keep him busy.
CM Punk.
You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but again, it is a clear. If he was going to come back,
he would have came back during Miz and Gunther.
He would have come back at an earlier point. There's a reason why he came back at that point in the match.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at who is in that match specifically,
and still in that ring,
and still in the ring at the time, the only person that wasn't in the ring at the time was Drew. Drew had left already for whatever reason. He was holding his face, whatever. That was before CM Punk came out. There's Seth Rollins, who clearly has beef with him. There's Randy Orton, who clearly has history with him and was like, all right, well, whatever, you stole my moment. There's Judgment Day, where, again, we don't know if he's a face or a heel, but there's Judgment Day, the entirety of Judgment Day, who did not seem happy to see him. And then there's Cody, who there is the outside of the company stuff that you can use, because all they talked about was the Chicago connection with Cody. So again, there's this complicated hodgepodge of stories where I'm not factoring CM Punk in until Monday or Friday when I see where he shows up and what he says.
He's scheduled and guaranteed. Randy and CM Punk are scheduled and guaranteed to be there tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you want to look at it from that point of they're going to be there on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, them releasing the Seth reaction is for a reason.
Yes, we know that's coming.
We know that is coming, right?
I don't know if it's coming
the
yet.
Drew McIntyre situation is also a factor that we have not talked about. The fact that Rhea promised him Jay and they still lost. So Drew McIntyre is your wild card anti-hero.
I think he's the
he's not
the
a
X
heel.
factor.
Right. He's not a face. He's not a heel. He's a tweener. And he also is not guaranteed to have his contract past WrestleMania. So that is what makes him the wild card. Is we don't even know if he's going to be here after Mania.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what the contract situation is.
We don't
With
even know what fucking CM Punk's deal is because apparently he has signed a deal minutes before he walked out.
But again, it's rumored to be multiple years. So I'm gonna say safe to say 3 years. Say 3 years, right? Ballpark it, 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a situation where if Seth is legitimately hurt, you could have a situation where they play off him being hurt. But here's my thing: is I know it's gonna take some convincing, but I don't think Seth is going to put CM Punk over.
No, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not. He is not.
And with all the work that Seth has done to establish the World Heavyweight title as a top title,
he is not.
He's not going to lay down and allow for CM Punk to be the person to beat him.
He'll do it for Gunther, though.
Again, I'm not factoring him in because Gunther is
I know, yeah.
Gunther is WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
We have to get there.
Yeah. So
there is too much going on right now for us to even get there.
Mm-hmm.
Because now with CM Punk back, everything that we thought was going to happen, all the plans and stuff,
everything changed.
They don't make sense. Why? Mm-hmm. Because Priest is yet to be made a champion.
Yeah.
So in doing so, now you've really started a clock on like, when can you make Priest a champion? And if you make Priest a champion, who is going to lay down for Priest? And how long is Priest going to have a title? And is he still going to be in Judgment Day? There's too many. Judgment Day is the wild card where we don't know really what they're doing. Because we don't know if that's in the beginning of being told or if that's at the end of being told. Because they keep flip-flopping with will they, won't they, will they, won't they? And it's like, all right, it was cute the first 4 times you did it. Now it's just fucking annoying.
So then maybe, all right. But all right. But all right. Damian's gonna cash in and win as long as he doesn't have anything else. As long as he doesn't have a shared title with Finn, blah blah. I feel like he should be alone when he does that because he is owed and he deserves and he's worked for that moment to get his moment. I think he should. I would even say I wouldn't even. Who's to say that he would even be in the Rumble and he just goes at Seth one-on-one and they have a fucking banger, amazing, epic match and Seth lays down legitly for Priest. Who's to say that won't happen at the Rumble?
If that does happen, then what was the point of the last year?
Wait, say it again.
Priest started out this journey alone. From the very beginning, the moment we saw Damian Priest on NXT, he was alone. He never needed anybody.
I got you.
This is about rebuilding Priest as a solo player and destroying the Judgment Day because he was and I'm not destroying the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day could still go on. They could just replace him, and then he's a face. And you have your Hispanic champion that we've never had, your Puerto Rican champion, and he's tough. He could go heel or face either way.
Again,
and he's a worker.
That's the thing. Unless you're going to tell me that come Royal Rumble, you are going to have Damian Priest turn face and then officially challenge Seth and cash in the Money in the Bank and tell him that this is what I'm doing it. And then that becomes a match. My only question is, how do you then turn Priest face?
You have him fucking go off on his own peeps. Judgment Day.
No. I think it's like I don't know who said it yesterday. One of you said it where Finn and JD like literally start looking at Priest a certain way, and then
that's the only.
Or maybe he gets kicked out. He gets kicked out then.
That's the only way that would actually make sense.
Yeah, and Dom and Mommy just.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Like that's the only way that would actually make sense. In order to turn Priest face, you have to blow up Judgment Day essentially,
and you got to make them feel bad for him at the end.
Yeah, like you have to make the
relationship
sympathize for Priest, and also blow up your biggest act in the company right now.
Or we talked about this yesterday, guys. It's right in our face. What if he does cash in and wins one day, Judgment Day is pretending to celebrate, and Evolution style they dog him.
Here's
Then
the
you
thing.
have a face priest.
That's not really my concern as much, because then you have a situation where Priest is going to cash in on a random Monday night. And that's the problem, is that you've now
I feel like that would be
all
worthy if
five.
they
You've
booked it
now
for Rumble.
wasted your two biggest pay-per-views of the summer and fall, where you had the biggest audience, the biggest draw, the biggest eyes on TV, and you've not coronated him in front of those type of crowds. That's my issue with this. Is if now they do it on SmackDown, it's going to feel less than what he could have had.
Oh,
It's
well,
like
I
Drew
was
winning the
saying,
title during COVID, pretty much.
Yeah, it's
right.
winning
Well,
the
I get
title.
that. I get that, but I was totally not suggesting that they do that on a random Monday night. I would prefer them
They
to
don't
do that
they
at
don't
Rumble.
have anything else. They don't have
'cause
anywhere else to do it.
Because
That's the problem. They don't have anywhere else to do it.
or
They
don't-
screwed themselves.
That's my problem with this whole thing. And that's why I kept saying yesterday was a very good, well done steak potatoes with a side of broccoli. There is no problem with people who want to eat that.
And CM
But-
Punk was the mac and cheese, a little bit of the mac and cheese.
Yeah, and you had like the little side of like bacon or lobster mac and cheese or whatever.
that
makes
was
it,
lobster. That was lobster mac and cheese.
when you
expensive.
had the opportunity to make a medium well, freshly grilled, like 12-year age surf and turf with like a drizzle of aioli butter and
Squeeze the lemon on it.
of like a side of asparagus and
So
with like a side of caviar and all this, like you had a chance to make this pay-per-view mean so much, and it paramounts to this pay-per-view just was the CM Punk return, because in the grand
It ended with it.
no pay-per-view itself wasn't bad, but it's going to only be talked about because that's when CM Punk came back.
So CM Punk came back, Randy came back, and Truth came back.
Again,
Poor Truth.
you're gonna say that,
Poor
you're-
Truth.
but the headlines themselves are
Yeah.
going to read that this
ESPN, all of
Yeah,
that.
the only thing special about this was that CM Punk came back.
It already said that the video where he came back that WWE posted within 1 hour, it got 5 million views on Twitter/X.
And again,
Jesus
there
Christ.
isn't a match where I'm like, oh no, we need to go back and rewatch that match because that match was so good. It's not saying that any of the matches were bad, but this is a pay-per-view where outside of the last 5 minutes, like it was good enough to watch again if you're a wrestling fan, but I'm not gonna sit up there and be like, hey, let me show you this. This is why I love this. This is why I love this.
I do know that, but I understand that. But I will also say that Survivor Series has had moments where they've had shock value not happen until the very end, and the very last thing that happened in the end was the only thing talked about. Case in point, Sting.
But
And
again,
and what led up to it was a crazy fucking back and forth with Team Cena versus the Authorities team, and it was a lot. And that match was shit. That match was shit. I was watching it literally yesterday. That match was shit, but it was all about leading up to that moment. And
Yeah,
unfortunately,
but
that's what it's all going to be about from
but
here
then
on.
that's my thing. Then stop calling Survivor Series the one of your big 5 pay-per-views. If that's how you're gonna treat it, and that's what you're gonna do with it, stop calling Survivor Series the top 5 pay-per-view.
Wait, I thought it was 4.
Well,
No, there's the big 5
Well-
because they added Money in the Bank as one of the major pay-per-views.
Well, I guess so, but I think the only reason why they add SummerSlam is not for it being the best, but I think just because of the longevity, and it's been around since '87. That's
Right.
why I think
And
they
it's
say
like,
that.
okay, if you're gonna say that Survivor Series is important, and you're going to tell me Survivor Series is important, then make it feel important outside of, hey, we're gonna give you a mediocre, decent show, but we're gonna give you like 1 or 2 big returns, and that's what's gonna make it special. Instead of just like, we're gonna give you an absolute banger, and then we're gonna give you these returns.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
listen,
that's the thing.
if I want it mediocre, then like we can just watch like mid-tier telenovela, like mid-tier stories during the day. Like I wanted prime time. Like I've been waiting all week for this finale. Like I've been waiting for 2 months for this finale, and the finale was amazing. Like I Survivor Series to me, if like you're not gonna have anything in December, it's supposed to be the season finale of Loki.
Oh, let's go. Let's not even go there. That was
Again, but we're still talking about that. That's what I mean. We're still talking about every little bit of that and what it means and how it's going and all this. That's my thing. That's what Survivor Series could have and should have been. That's not saying that it was bad. I'm saying it almost wasn't enough. It was too straight, like it was too black and white. It doesn't mean it was bad, but it was just that's my issue. It was too black and white.
in the words of Roman Reigns, it was missionary style.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was missionary. It was
every
missionary with no
single
eye
night.
contact.
Missionary every single night.
It's missionary, no eye contact.
Oh my God, stop. All right. Like, but
like I said, I was quoting Roman Reigns.
I know you quoted Roman. I get it. But what I was gonna say is, I'm trying to think as we're talking about it. I'm just trying to think now because last night our reactions and how we were watching was as a fan. Initially, that's why we do it, right? That's why we do this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about it, and we're going through it and reviewing it, and I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to think and be in Triple H's perspective. Like I feel like the reason why we feel like it was a mediocre mid fucking pay-per-view and then we had the boom was because I feel like he was just playing with us. I feel like yesterday was just a fucking game, literally a game for him that he played with this pay-per-view. He goes, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and then you know what? Get the fuck out that production seat. Come over here. Boom. Punk is coming out right now. Boom. Go. Like I'm trying to think in his perspective how this went down in his head and how like, and the only way that after seeing it with my own eyes and everything and reviewing it over and over, all I could think about was that Triple H is way too patient when it comes to shit like this. And that could hurt him in the future or in the long run if he does that too often and if he fucks it up with Priest. So I understand your concerns about that.
That's my concern is that like you're slow burning this too much.
But Triple H has not failed us yet. So I cannot knock him for even giving us the stuff that he's given us. In this year as an entirety, as a total in this whole year, he did not do a terrible job at all. He did not. It wasn't awful.
I'm not saying that he did a terrible job. Like I'm not saying that. I'm saying you can do a great job and still miss sometimes.
Yeah. And and that's what I'm saying. There's little aired elements and moments where he did miss with certain things. Like I don't understand.
Sheamus not winning the Intercontinental title for me, it's going to be top of the list. I understand you wanted to build Gunther and you succeeded in your goal. But the fact that we have not seen Sheamus really since, like we really haven't really seen Sheamus since. So I'm like, was that like Sheamus's swan song? That's why we didn't, because like he's done other stuff after that, but it's like nothing was to that level, and then he just up and disappears. And now the Brawling Brutes are splitting up. So it's all right.
I could say that.
Yeah, so it's like, all right, so I guess that means Sheamus isn't coming back anytime soon.
There's shit switching, man. That they shit happens so fast, and like they say all the time when they say it in the documentaries that business is ever changing every fucking day, last minute, all the time.
Right.
Like they could have a blueprint for the whole year or for the next 3 fucking years, but guaranteed the end game might not exactly be the same as the way it started, and that's always the case. I don't think Triple H intended to bring Punk back the way he did, but he did it. I guess he just felt like he did what he had to do as for the business and for the fans, and it was shock value,
right?
And it worked,
right?
It worked because here we are still talking about
again.
it.
again, I don't want this to be misconstrued. I'm not saying the Punk side of it wasn't really cool. I'm not even saying that the pay-per-view was bad.
Yeah.
I'm saying it wasn't at the level that we've become accustomed to
This whole year.
because it left so much meat on the bone, and it didn't necessarily push us forward.
Yeah, my husband and I had a conversation about that.
It just kind of ended things, and it's like, okay, but like, what's next? Like,
yeah, it's like, okay, what now? Okay,
Yeah.
what now? What am I left with?
It's just like,
Where are we going with this?
yeah, like, all right, I guess, like,
I guess I'm gonna have to roll with it. But it was exciting. Thank you
yes,
for that.
like
That
it was a great high, but it's like, all right, now that I'm coming down off the dopamine, like the logic
Now
is
what?
like that was cool, but like
Yeah.
Priest still has the Money in the Bank. Seth's still champion. Punk came back, cool. Gunther's still
Randy came back.
champion with
Randy's here.
Randy's here. Gunther won with no real realm of future challengers.
I can't believe he won as clean as he did.
Right. Same thing with Santos. Like, okay, Santos won, but like, why am I supposed to care? Like,
Right,
you didn't.
that's what I'm saying. It was
you
like
didn't-
I had so much hope for that match, in not just what the guys could do in the ring. I wasn't putting what they did in the ring, but it was the story wise I was looking forward to.
There
And
was
then-
moments. There was moments in the secondary premium live events, like the backlashes and shit, that were better than last night.
Mhm.
Backlash matches went harder than last night's matches, I think. Freaking when they did what they did, the Clash at whatever, when Drew and Roman went at it or whatever.
Clash at the Castle.
Clash at the Castle, same thing. Like, or when they were in Canada for Sammy, like it's pretty. It's just crazy to me, but it's like Survivor Series definitely didn't give you what SummerSlam gave you, and it didn't give you what like elements of what WrestleMania gave you, or when WrestleMania when Cody first appeared. You know what I'm saying? But it's Survivor Series, like it's Survivor Series, dude. And there's been big moments on Survivor Series, and the biggest moment now of all time is going to be CM Punk returning. When Survivor Series isn't about returns, Survivor Series always used to be about the matches, always.
Yeah.
And the tag team turmoil matches, the Hart Foundation, all those kinds of matches.
Survivor matches where it's like when a guy became a full Survivor, it was like, okay, like this guy's
next up. He's next up.
And it's become less about that, where it's like, okay, the War Games match is cool. It's great. It looks fantastic. But every other time we've come out of a War Games match, we've come out of the match with different stories.
Yeah.
This one, it just ended. Yeah, Randy's back, but like, why is Randy back? I don't know.
I'm trying to remember things about the match that happened. Like, was there any friction that happened between anybody and shit?
I mean, Randy was about to RKO Dom and then turned and did the
Oh, he was about to go to Jay.
Jay and looked
That's
at Jay
another
and he
moment
did
we
like,
talked
you know,
about.
I remember. And it's like, okay, so like, is that gonna be a feud?
We could also talk about the fact that there's going to be problems between Priest and Rhea because she didn't get the job done and bring the suitcase to him on time the way he wanted. You know, like there's going to be a lot.
There's the tension that got built up between Priest and Drew in that face-off in the beginning of the whole thing. Yeah. Which again, all of this is fine, but it's also just a lot of like, instead of giving us a thread, it's like you gave us a thimble, where it's like, we could pull at this if we want, but like we don't know if we're gonna pull at this, and
it's like when you watch a movie or a show and they have you asking more questions than answers were answered.
Yeah, and it's
questions were answered.
Satisfying because you don't get any answers. You're just left asking questions. Like that was fine.
More questions. Like okay, you go in with 3 questions, you get those answers, but then you leave with like 5 questions.
Bro, you didn't get the answers. That's the problem.
We got the
answer of, is Randy going to show? Yes.
Okay,
is Randy going to flip on everybody? No, he did not.
Okay.
Is what else?
We didn't get a cash in.
Is there going to be a cash in? No. What question we asking? is there beef between Drew and Matt and Damian?
Mm-hmm.
Damian didn't cash in again. Why the fuck is CM Punk here? Okay, what's happening with Santos Escobar and LWO? Who's next up for Gunther?
Oh, I was like,
Who's
what?
next up for Rhea? Is the
Yeah.
Black Lotus faction a thing now? Because apparently now it seems like Bailey is okay with everybody now.
Yeah, like Bailey's cool, so like that turn didn't happen.
Like that's what I'm saying.
Bayley-
Like it's more questions being asked and answered because
Ba-
that was another question we had was like, is there an issue with Bailey and the Black Lotus? What's supposed to be going to be the Black Lotus faction? Are they kicking her
Bayley-
out? You know,
Bailey was the reason they lost last night, so we know what's up and we know what's gonna happen. Because Bailey may be cool with them, but that doesn't mean that they're cool with her. You see the way they look at her when she talks the last 2-3 weeks. And Oscar's
right?
involved.
But you got to remember, she also took the hit for the spear that was going to go to.
She did.
Kane.
Kyrie saying, yeah, she didn't. She did.
Kari, yeah, sorry. I just trying to figure out dinner.
Sorry, Kane. Sorry, Kane. No, but yeah, there wasn't. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel there's another. No, you're focused now. I feel like there's a secret leader. I feel like there's a secret leader.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, there was too much like unanswered leaving the show,
But
which I'm
the
okay
one
with.
thing,
I'm
the one
okay
thing
with like
wasn't-
stuff like that.
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the one thing that was guaranteed was for sure was that if CM Punk was back, that means anything can happen.
Yeah, but it comes down now to okay, what's going to happen? Because now we're like we were talking the whole time is like what's happening with Gunther now? What's happening with Priest and the Money in the Bank? So at the end of the day, it's like
I was thinking. I was thinking more so in terms of his wife, because my dad mentioned that to me last night.
that's very true.
I
But
was like, I don't want to entertain that just yet. I don't want to entertain that just yet. He just came back.
my thing with AJ Lee is how is her back and how much time if she was to come back, how much
Yeah.
time does she have left?
Man, not much.
You know, but here's the thing
I
too,
don't
you have to look at too, because of the fact that the TV show Heels was canceled. CM Punk and AJ Lee have more time on their hands so they can come back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
I mean that's cool, but like again, I think I think after the AEW return with CM Punk, I've kind of just cooled on CM Punk as a whole. Like it was cool to see because of like you never thought CM Punk would step foot back in WWE, but in terms of like the work that he's going to do and the wrestling part of it, I don't truly like he doesn't look like the same guy. He doesn't have the same kind of physicality and ring work and ring psychology. He doesn't really have what he used to have. It's kind of like when you're watching Edge come back and it's like, yeah, it's Edge, but it's not necessarily the same guy. But
yeah,
Edge's character work got better. So it was really cool to see his elevation in terms of his character work, which is what made his return so cool. With Punk, it's just like I'm not sure what
I don't know if I could trust you.
Yeah,
Well-
like it's like I'm not sure that you can keep up with the standard that we're used to while also telling a compelling story without letting your ego get in your way.
I think the problem. I think what
That part.
okay. So here's the thing. I think what we found out with him through AEW and what responsibility he was giving, he's a good wrestler. He's a good performer, but he is not one to be in the backstage role.
Yeah.
He's
You get
a
what I'm saying?
diva.
Well, I'm saying like I think his ego gets too involved in it, and he does not know how to work well with others in the aspects of like the incident with Jungle Boy, let alone the incidents the issues that was having with the
Young
brothers,
Bucks.
the Young Bucks, and everybody else. But the one with Jungle Boy was the biggest one.
Right.
Hangman Page too.
Hangman Page was one where he was just too sensitive about what Hangman said.
Yeah.
Kind of like Edge. Edge got too sensitive about what Ricky Stark said. It's like, come on, bro. It's like you're on the mic, it's a hot mic, just go with it. What the fuck, bro? Like Attitude Era, hello.
Yeah, like
You know,
again, that
don't
is
take
that
this
is
shit too
my
serious.
that's my concern, and it's like it's
And it's
okay.
a valid one, but I think because of the fact of all that, I think going into WWE and not having to worry about all that shit, and he just like, hey, we're doing this. I want you to do this. Do it. Like
Oh, but then again, the biggest thing is it's like clearly he's in the main event scene. Clearly they're going to put him in this main event spot.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to cross paths with people who are either related to or he has personally burned in the past. So it's going to be a lot of man-to-man conversations. And is CM Punk going to be humble enough to follow his prop? And that's my problem. That is my problem right there. Because again, it took a certain level of humbleness from Cody to reconcile with Seth. Like both of them had to check their egos at the door, have the conversation, and you know, do what's best for business and do business.
And I think it was easier for Cody to do that because of the fact that he's a second generation. He knows he understands it a lot better because he was taught so.
Right.
Seth, because
CM Punk wasn't taught that.
Right, but and Seth for the aspect from the view of what I want to do what's best for business, what's best for WWE. CM Punk, on the other hand, like I said before, he has a narcissistic attitude, a big ass ego. I don't think he's gonna do that because he believes he can do no wrong.
I think he will do that now because there's no Vince. That's the one big factor. Triple H is willing to move on and do business with you and forget all that shit you said about him and his friends back then. Let's make this money.
Yeah.
So don't let your shit get in the way.
And that's my thing. It's like how much creatively is Punk going to concede in order to make what's best for business?
He's gonna have to concede everything.
And that's my thing. It's like we don't know the conversation that him and Triple H had. And obviously it was a productive one. It was a productive one because he signed the contract. So he understands.
I believe he might have a voice in the creative one, but he won't have the final say.
Right. But my thing is again, if he has a program with Seth, they now have to communicate and they have to do business.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how volatile that relationship truly is, because if it's true that this is a work and that Seth is just doing that because it's a work,
and because he's a great actor.
Incredible work. Man should
like,
be well on his way to Hollywood, you know, once he gets what he needs to do. Even if it is like his back is actually broken or it's not actually broken and that was just a story work. Fantastic work, because I'm 100% behind the fact of like, bro, go home, rest up, get shit done. Because if it's really that serious that we're pulling it out the blue and you like now we're starting to look back, I'm like, oh, well, he has gotten less explosive. He doesn't take as many risks.
Wow.
He does a lot of things that have to do with strength versus athleticism. You know, he has a more grounded style now. So now it's like, oh, no, I believe that there's something wrong with his back. Now I'm watching the way he walks out. I'm watching how slow he walks. I'm watching the fact that he doesn't run anymore. He doesn't do the title swirl. Like, he doesn't do anything that makes it any extra weight on his back. So it's
I'm surprised he even did run at Finn to start the match.
Right. So it's a situation of like, okay, either that was an incredible work or there's some truth to it. So it's one of those situations where it's like, we don't know the depth. We don't know the depths of which this rivalry goes. And we probably will never know. They're probably never going to talk about it until after both of those guys are retired, whatever. But if Punk comes in and he's the Punk that we're all hoping for, great. It's great for business. If not, with all the convoluted stuff, like if he comes in as like, oh, I need to go over Priest, or oh, I need to go over Gunther, or I need to go over LA Knight, and he starts doing that stuff, then it's going to screw up everything that we've grown to love about the company this past year and all the work.
I can't wait to see him with LA Knight.
Like, I think that
Let me talk to you.
Or you could really fuck around and have CM Punk. Y'all are not gonna like me saying this at all.
Nope.
But you can.
You didn't even hear her out, bro.
Once if you give me
He's
that,
definitely not gonna like
preface
this
it with
one.
that, then
He's
yeah,
not.
not like it.
He's not gonna like it. You can fuck around and give CM Punk the Cody treatment and put him right at Roman first at the Rumble and get your ass beat.
Here's the thing: if you're gonna do that, and he's going to lose,
from then on.
If he does that and he's going to lose, then I'm okay with it.
See,
I'm
I
okay
thought you
with
wasn't
it
gonna like
if
it. I
if
thought you
y'all
wasn't
not
gonna
going,
like
if
it.
he's not going to pull some bullshit.
That's fine. That's fine.
You
But
get
I'm
what
just
I'm saying?
saying
Like,
they could fuck
I don't
around
know
and
if
do
I
that
trust
to
not to pull some bullshit. Do you know what I'm
sign a
saying?
contract. He signed a contract.
That don't mean
He signed a
nothing.
contract.
You don't know that don't mean nothing. People be pulling some bullshit though. It don't matter. When they want to pull some bullshit, they gonna do it. Brock being the prime example. If Brock wanted to pull some bullshit, he was gonna pull some bullshit.
Put it this way: I was surprised Brock didn't get fired after they threw the belt at Vince McMahon.
Not for nothing. I wanted Brock to show up.
I was like, damn.
Why you keep wishing this bad juju out here, man? What is good with you? Don't nobody want to see. Let that man farm. Let that man.
He's coming back because
she mentioned
CM Punk coming back last night. He's gonna come back. We're like, no. And look what happened.
And gonna mess up the whole main event scene.
I thought he wasn't gonna come back. I kept speculating like everybody else. I was just like, I guess we'll wait and see. And now that we got those results, I'm like, okay, well, if CM Punk can come back, then Brock is coming back. Then what else is gonna happen? Who the fuck else? What else are y'all gonna do? What else? You're gonna have CM Punk and Roman be the first face off? Like go right for the jugular. Just kill us like that. You just go right for it. Because I don't like I said, there's nothing like they surprised me so much this year that I'm just like, okay, what? Well, I'll just expect anything then.
Yeah,
I'll just expect any fucking thing then, and it's great. It's great. It's refreshing. It's different because before we were tired of seeing the same shit. Now we ain't looking at the same shit. We're really not.
No, we're not.
I was saying this last night. I was like, it went from like a year ago where we were calling matches so well that we didn't have to watch weekly television. Paul, and Ben not watching weekly television. We were just watching the pay-per-views and we're still able to follow and still being able to follow everything and call the matches, right? Now it's almost like you can't miss a week. Mm-hmm. We've gotten back to the place where you can't really miss a week. Because if you miss a week, maybe you're fine. Maybe. But then you can also miss something major because then it's like, all right, we got to collect all our data together and like put all our notes together because all of this stuff is going to be important come the next pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where wrestling's fun, where it's like, again, we damn near called the whole card, but the one swerve is what we didn't call. We basically called the whole card.
I don't even remember what was the tally of the picks? I forgot.
So literally, Jay and I got everything right except for the Dragon Lee Santos match.
Y'all picked Dragon Lee?
I picked Dragon Lee. He picked no contest.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah. Then what you got messed up on was in the men's War Games and the men's match.
Yeah, I got 3 wrong.
Yeah, 2.
Matt and Scott, my guests here, had everything right.
Yeah, and like I said,
except the last thing.
Like I said, Jay, I don't think nobody's ever got the whole card right. I think Betty was the only one that's always gotten closest. I think you and Betty were always one away.
Right. But that's my thing. It's like we've been able to call it pretty accurately. Even the swerves we were able to call. This was one of the first pay-per-views where we're like, that call was so... It gave you such a well, we really don't know what the game is now. Like before we've been able to play right along and be like, okay, we can do this, we can do that, we can do this. You can't really call it anymore.
Yep.
And that's what makes it fun because now it's like, okay, before we couldn't play with our imagination. Now you kind of have to.
Yep.
because you have to do the weirdest scenarios and then kind of dumb
Yes.
it down, because that's why this pay-per-view is disappointing, because we went conspiracy theory crazy.
We
And
went
it was
down
the
a rabbit
basic stuff.
hole.
Yeah, now it's
Yeah,
like, okay,
when
if
it
we
was
go,
so simple.
right, and now if we then call like Royal Rumble basic and they hit us with a bunch of swerves, it's gonna be like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever.
I mean, we
And
did
that's what
call.
Triple
We
H
did
is
call
kind
it.
of. That's
Yeah.
what Triple H kind of has us now, because now it's like, okay, what do you like? Now we're really trying to predict, like, okay, what are you doing here? Like, what are you thinking?
Right, right, and it's like they're in SummerSlam. Perfect example. We called that there could have been a possibility of a cash in and a successful cash in, but we were just thinking the wrong cash in.
Right,
We were thinking about Priest when we wasn't even looking at Io, not even
right,
realizing that it was literally a year to the day that she made her debut at SummerSlam,
right.
and she earned
So,
her moment.
so it's
You
one
know
of
what I'm
those
saying?
situations where like you can call it,
I
but
think we need to
wrestling
look
is
back
still
on
fun.
Priest's history. We
Right.
need to look back to see when exactly he can get his moment, because it has to happen for him.
Yes.
This should be a successful cash in. His cash in should be a success. It should be just as successful as Edge. Should be.
Yeah.
It should be, for sure. Don't give me no Sheamus. Don't treat him like Baron Corbin. He's one of the toughest dudes and one of the hardest workhorses on that roster.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
give him his motherfucking flowers and give him his moment. Puerto Rico, stand up.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be a tough one, because like we're going back, they put themselves in a tough spot.
Mm-hmm.
And again,
How many times, if we look back this year, how many times have we said this is a perfect time to cash in? It's perfect time to cash in. It's perfect time to cash
Y'all
in.
said that.
And we literally wrote out the script on what to do.
I
And it
haven't.
wasn't done.
I don't think, have I mentioned the Priest cashing? I said he's not cashing until he loses the titles. I'm standing by that. He's
But
gonna lose
again,
them again. He lost
the
it the
pro-
first time already.
the problem that I'm having with that is that like there isn't enough going on in the tag division to make it make sense.
Not yet. Yeah.
There isn't enough, and again, now you have to build the tag division, which again push. If that's the case, and what you're saying is indeed true, you're now shortening your window, because now you have to build the tag division. Now you have to give them credible challenge.
Competitive.
Now you have to figure out what show is big enough for them to drop the titles, because you don't have a pay-per-view now, so there's nothing to build towards.
Right.
And in doing so, you're also now like, because Rhea reacted a certain way before, now we're expecting a similar to a bigger reaction. So now you have to write in Rhea's whole like, only way you can be in Judgment Day is if you have a title. Versus, again, like my suggestion was yesterday, I don't think they need to lose the titles. I think Priest needs to give up the titles and enact the Freebird rule, where JD McDonough can effectively become the champion because Judgment Day has the titles. And the problem is that whenever they're announced, it's members of the Judgment Day, Damian Priest and Finn Balor. It's not our tag team champions, the Judgment Day. That's an important distinction. That is a very important distinction. Versus,
They really do announce that?
they do announce it. If you go back and you listen to it, that's how they're announced. Versus the New Day, where it says Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, the New Day. And because it was the New Day are tag champions, you could enact the Freebird rule. That is where things get.
You might be right, sir.
Now, if Damian Priest goes to both general managers and is like, hey, because these titles belong to the Judgment Day, wouldn't it mean we qualify for the Freebird rule? The same way the New Day did. And if they then say yes, Priest no longer is obligated to defend those titles, because the Judgment Day still has the titles. He just no longer has to fight with them.
And then he's going to go on.
And then now he is free to go out and get, because technically he's not, the Judgment Day are not giving up those titles. Priest is still technically a champion because they are all champions.
I know how deep. I know how Priest could possibly cash in.
Another conspiracy. We need like a sound for conspiracy theories. That is the
something like that.
Hold on, huh? Let me see.
But
Nope.
no. But
we'll get back to that. But you
it should be the Law and Order sound.
The dun, dun, dun.
Not even the song. The dun.
Anyway, go off. We're listening. You are on mute. Ooh. Are you back now? You're on mute. You ain't got no Wi-Fi. Yeah, you ain't got no Wi-Fi, dog. I guess when you took out the headphone, it went away.
Hold on, somebody's knocking on my door.
Mm-hmm. Still nothing. And this is the life and times of going live, guys. This is what happens during the live stream. We have technical difficulties. We have people ringing on doorbells. Can't hear you, bro. Like your bars are just gone.
All right.
You might have to kick her out and bring her back in because literally her bars are gone.
Let me see here.
She's been shadow roamed at this point. She's been shadow roamed, guys.
The AirPod battery probably died out.
Probably.
Oh, if the batteries on the AirPods died, she needs to change the microphone from the AirPods to her phone.
What he said. All I'm seeing on her thing is that the bars are gone. So
yeah, I see that too. But let's see. But yeah, that's an interesting take. You mentioned that yesterday as well.
See, and then you get these reports from dirt sheets. Like Dirt Sheets Radio reported backstage in gorilla position. Frightful report Seth Rollins was ushered away by Triple H and Michael Cole as he was not happy about Punk's appearance. Punk was said to look confused by the whole thing. At least people in the area, it was said to be an awkward scene.
Right.
So it's like there's real heat there, and there's real potential for, if both guys do business, there's real potential for a lot of really great things. But I caution with this whole like just trust the process thing, because it's like sometimes the process gets a little skewed, guys. Like we've seen it happen. It's like Cody's been fine, but the WWE title hasn't been nearly as relevant as it was in the road to WrestleMania. Like the World Heavyweight Championship has completely dominated, and I think that's what they've wanted. I think that's a part of the planning of that's what they've wanted. They wanted the World Heavyweight Championship to feel more important and be the championship that's dominating the airwaves.
And I get it. I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to it. I really am not. Because of the fact that Roman's barely on TV, but when he does come on, like he'll pull.
Yeah.
Pull. So like Seth is doing what he's doing. And I think the issue, now that I think about it, the issue is they're stuck in a hard place because of the fact that you have Priest, right, who has the Money in the Bank briefcase. You have Gunther, who's rising up. Now it's like, okay, who do we put the belt on where we can keep this momentum of the belt still being like a factor in the momentum of the belt progressing more?
Right. And even in that, you still have Sami Zayn, where he still gets nuclear pops. And Sami Zayn winning a world championship and the promos that he's been cutting have been spectacular this year.
Oh,
the whole
yeah.
idea that Sami Zayn could never be a main eventer is the fact that was ever even a notion is laughable. Sami Zayn is a bona fide main event draw. Jey Uso, who you could have told me when he was in the bloodline that he was going to be the guy to then be a main event guy, I would have been like, yeah, he had a nice little run, but you should have put an Intercontinental title on him, so you missed your boat, the kind of the way they did with Kofi. Jey Uso, to me, is a legitimate contender for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Mm-hmm.
So you look at everybody in that ring. Drew McIntyre, legitimate contender. Cody, only reason why we say he's not a legitimate contender is because it doesn't fulfill what he's come back and said that he wanted to fulfill. Mic check.
1,
Yeah.
2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
All right. Love it.
Mario.
Love it.
Take these sons of bitches off.
Okay. So,
Fucking up my whole train of thought. Yeah.
okay. So I'm gonna let you go up before you lose it.
I forgot where I was. Where did we leave off on that?
You said you knew how Damian Priest could cash in.
Thank you. Damian Priest could catch. Okay. Yeah. Let me take myself back there. Okay. I don't have Damian Priest could cash in. Obviously, they wanted us to see that Seth reaction when CM Punk came out. Obviously, they wanted that. Whether it was real or work or not is completely irrelevant. They know what it is. And I'm sure it is a work because there's a lot of videos that are resurfacing now that is just like, you know what? Fuck you, Seth. You're a good actor and I can't stand you. But that's fine. We can speculate that all we want. But what I will say is this. Just give it to us off the rip then. If that's what you're going to show us off the rip, just give it to us off the rip. Give us CM Punk versus Seth. Fuck the belt, because we know this ain't about no belt. They have animosity. There's personal beef. There's that is a story. You know what I'm saying? And they could build it off. Let the first one be about bragging rights or whatever. Let them beat the shit out of each other at the Rumble. Priest is in the Rumble, possibly loses it, still has the money in the bank, in the back. It was kind of like Seth when he had his match with Randy and it took away, him losing took away from everything else and you completely forgot about him until the very end when he cashed in, right? Get CM Punk, Seth, beat the shit out of each other. Beat the shit out of them. Both of them wiped out. Damian Priest comes out, give him his fucking moment. On Seth.
So you do it at
on Seth.
So you do it at the Rumble.
What other choice do you have?
That's my thing. It's like the only other thing I can think of, and I hate it, but because of how big of a draw CM Punk versus Seth Rollins now is, there is a world where you can do it on Monday Night Raw. Because those two alone at the top of the marquee gives you enough to where you'll pull in significant numbers. And you have it be a situation where Seth's so ready for CM Punk that he gets blindsided. I mean, like absolutely blindsided.
Yes.
And mauled by the Judgment Day. Like mauled. And the only person that's going to come out and help Seth at that point would be Sami Zayn. But that's still 2 on whatever. Even if Cody comes out, Cody gets knocked out. And you have a situation where like Seth rallies, blah, 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 blah. Hits the stomp on the Judgment Day, blah, blah, blah. Then CM Punk comes in, hits him with the go to sleep. He takes the briefcase, he hands it over to Priest, smiles, walks away. Priest then cashes in, and Priest is your world heavyweight champion.
Not only that, you got the rub from CM Punk. You have the rub from Seth because he didn't mind putting it down for you, and then you also have your moment as the champion for the very first time.
And I hate to do it on a Raw, but
it can happen on a Raw. It can
happen on a Raw.
People forgot when who was it that people forgot when he won the belt on a Raw? Was it Mick Foley?
I don't know. It's been a couple
Mick
people. to win
Foley,
it.
Mick Foley won the belt in the Raw because that was when WCW exposed it. It's like, hey, you can watch us live, or you can flick over where it's recorded already. Mick Foley's gonna win, and literally people left WCW to go watch Raw because they wanted to watch Mick Foley win the belt.
But I think it was overshadowed by something that Kane did. That Kane had a moment that same night, and it was overshadowed by fucking Mick Foley's win on Raw or some shit like that back in the day. There's some story about it. I don't know which one it is, but it definitely has to do with one of them.
Yeah, I can see that happening, and
so I can't see it on a Raw on a Monday night.
And the thing is, I could see CM Punk coming around and just being an ass. His character being an asshole.
Just straight up screw your legacy. Without me, please.
But the thing is, what I want to see is I want to see somebody take him out just to give him that break. He needs the break because if this back injury is for real, like I've been saying, the back injury is for real. He need a break. Just take the break.
That's why I say you have Judgment Day hop him in that way. Like you have Judgment Day beat the crap out of him, but you have CM Punk give him the final blow.
Swerve, CM Punk's the real leader of the Judgment Day.
No.
I know.
You can have it like tomorrow, right? You have it where they're continuing the little dispute, right? They're brawling out there. They beat the crap out of him. But then Cody Rhodes comes out, Sami Zayn comes out, and so does Jay. They come out. They come out, but they're just outnumbered, right? And then they're just busting on Seth. Somehow, some way, everybody gets confused, and Seth is kind of crawling away to get away from it. And then, like Jay said, in comes CM Punk, hits someone to go to sleep, lays him out, and then looks at Damian, and he goes like that's your moment. Like, here, this is your moment.
Yeah.
I want it to feel like whenever Damian gets his moment, I want it to feel like when Kevin Owens won the Universal title or the heavyweight title. When fucking Triple H gave him that look and he fucking pedigreed. Like, I need to feel chills. Like, I need to feel what I felt last night. Make it crazy.
I almost wanted to feel
crazy.
I wanted to feel like Damian Priest made a deal with the devil.
Yes.
Right. And Jay, you had it right. Like it has to it works for so many reasons, like you're saying, because then that's the light that sparks the feud. Like you already see Seth is already pissed at Punk, but then you add on top of it that he cost him his belt.
And belt that he built.
Right, because he can say, yo, I took the beating from Judgment Day. It was no problem. I was crawling, I was walking. But you put that nail in that coffin that put me out, that cost me my belt. It wasn't the beating they gave me. It's what you did. So
yeah, and then at that point, then you have a blood feud that you can do the blood feud, and it makes in a lot of ways it makes the World Heavyweight Championship feel so important that Seth losing it is so like gut wrenching
and putting it all on the line.
Yeah, and
like seeing everything he got.
What about this?
And it gives like Damian Priest like this whole like I finally did it. I'm finally this guy. And for me, it's like you have to do it sooner than later because you need Priest to gain the momentum going into Royal Rumble.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I got one for you.
Momentum.
What if Seth is out, right? And you're like, oh yeah, Seth is out. The WWE report says he's out for 3 months, 4 months, whatever. Past Rumble, right? Punk is in the Rumble. He's last 4. And then you hear is boom, Seth Rollins' music come out. And he turns. Seth Rollins doesn't have to show up.
No,
but the fact that the heat is there and it costs him to lose like focus. Boom, he goes over.
And you have him get like Claymore out or something.
Yeah, it could be whatever. Claymore doesn't matter.
You know,
he gets eliminated.
You know, Drew's gonna be in that Final Four. It's probably gonna be Drew, Cody, Gunther, and somebody else.
It depends because remember his contract expiring soon. I just don't know when. I think it's end of the year.
And they're trying to convince him to stay.
Right, but until that contract is signed, that's my concern.
Right. Fair, but I mean, like, again, you can still tell the story of him still being in that mix, still being right there.
Here's another thing. What if everything is a storyline? Think about it. His contract hasn't been renewed.
Mhm.
He is pissed left and right. Last night, he left the arena mad.
Mhm.
Allegedly, he walked straight to the locker room, got his shit, and left.
Mhm.
What if this is all a storyline?
It's all over.
Like,
For
yeah,
what?
Every aspect.
I
of
don't
everything
know, but I'm
all-
thinking.
They made sure we wanted to see that.
Again,
Right, because think
that's-
about it. I mean,
But
like,
for
I don't know, but like, think about it. His contract has to be renewed. They're trying to figure out how to renew his contract. You know, what
Mhm.
if this is it's crazy how all this stuff is coming out. This
What?
has to be a work, all of it. I don't know for what. I just have a feeling this is all a work. Go ahead, honey.
How many times have Drew and Roman fought?
Uh,
Just asking for shits and giggles.
I mean,
let's say
I would say
two?
2 or 3, like a nice little mini handful, like 2 or 3.
But we had 2 or 3 where it was all right, maybe the first 2, because I do remember Drew stepping up to Roman when he started this tribal chief journey. I
Mhm.
think at least once, right? The
Yeah.
first 2 times it was heel Drew, face.
Mhm. Mhm.
Who's to say they won't push Drew in that direction?
What, it being heel Drew face? What is with you and face Roman, bro?
No, not even for face Roman, but for Roman to lose the title. Who's like everybody's talking about who's gonna beat Roman, who's gonna take the top dog out. I remember Drew being involved a lot when it came to making Roman suffer when they were trying to push him as a fucking face.
I get you. I understand that.
We're talking longevity, you know.
But there is a reason why no one is considering Roman in these scenarios. We know what, or at least we know what we want the story to be. We understand, because again, you don't do all this with Cody for someone else to beat Roman.
Mm-hmm.
You don't
in
do
a
that.
cheesy way.
Yeah, you don't do that.
Mm.
And even if it is that case, then you're gonna hot shot the title off Drew to Cody, only for Roman to always have the claim of like, well, you never beat me. And it's like, all right, if you're gonna do that storyline 2 years down the line, but like, who's to say Roman ever comes back? Like, we never got the Cena Randy Orton like final match.
Which that will be coming, I think.
I don't think I think we saw the last of Cena. I truly believe that.
Really think Saudi Arabia was Cena's last match?
Yes,
I don't think so.
I do, because Cena's the type of person where he wouldn't want his last match to be against a vet. He would want his last match to be putting over a young megastar that he truly believes in. Not to mention, Cena also had a close friendship with Umaga. So he has a relationship with the family in itself. And and with Cena, it's the same thing with The Rock. Now that the strike is effectively over, I don't know if they signed the new agreement or whatever. I don't know the semantics.
Unfortunately.
The fact that everyone's going back and they're now shooting, John Cena's schedule is now packed. The same thing with The Rock. They were both in mid-shooting movies. So we don't even know when John's going to have enough. And then on top of that, he's probably also auditioning while he's also shooting these films. So his 2024, 2025, and then on top of that, he still has to go back and make Peacemaker season 2. There is no room for him to come back, get in shape, be in game shape, and not run the risk of being injured. After this run, he had double elbow surgery.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he just had double elbow surgery.
Yeah.
So
Recuperating for a while.
right. So
He's not gonna
in what world does it make sense for him to then come back and have a last match? It doesn't make sense.
That's pretty crazy though.
Like when you look at the big picture for John Cena, the performer, we can have our WWE love for him, but the end of the day is he is a bona fide actor now.
Mm-hmm.
He himself has constantly told you, I have my health. There are people in production who don't get paid as much as I do, aren't as blessed as I am, that are depending on me to stay healthy and to be able to meet the deadlines that I need to make. His love for WWE does not supersede that. His love for WWE fans does not supersede that. His legacy is set in stone, period. He's already talked about retirement, so he's made it very clear that that might have been his last match. Because if it is, it's not like he didn't tell you. If it's not, that's great. But we may not see Cena for another 3 years. And at that point, he's in his 50s or close to it. So context, please. Like, let's put that into context. It's a hard pill to swallow for WWE fans. But as someone who is vaguely familiar with the rigors of acting, Hollywood, et cetera, who know multiple people who are involved in it, it is not possible for John Cena to live up to his standard in the ring and have the time and space and training to do that and also fulfill his obligations in Hollywood. It's not possible.
The Rock's is the same thing.
Yeah.
And again,
the only reason why The Rock showed up that night was because he was at the University of Colorado game earlier. So all he had to do was hop on a car, drive an hour down the road to get to Denver, and then like hop on a plane and go doing what he was doing. So again, and that's also why, again, you didn't see The Rock do too much. Because think about it, he rock bottom Rowan and tore his whole pec or tore his abdomen or something. Like, these guys can't do what we want them to do without real world consequences. So it's like, even we can fantasy book it, we can have all the stuff we want to do, but there's a reality to it that just we won't get what we want in that case. Like, we're not gonna get what we want. Like, we have to reconcile that. It's like the ex that ghosts you and you want to tell them off and you can't. You have to reconcile it within yourself that, like, hey, what it is. It just is what it is, you know. It just is what it is, and like that's kind of what we just have to chalk it up to that.
Yeah.
But again, I still will stand by the statement. I'm not saying that this pay-per-view was bad. I'm saying it was bland. Had no season. CM Punk was like the douse of hot sauce at the end of everything, but there really was no seasoning to this. And the ultimate question is, like, now what do you do with Priest? Now, I wouldn't be upset if everything we're pontificating about all of this, and then they have him cash in on Monday, because that is probably the only other time that you're still going to have all these eyes. So if you're going to give
it, still relevant,
and the topic is still relevant. So if you do it Monday, fine, I'm cool. Okay.
All right. Because then you got a whole weekend and you're like, holy shit. And if you think about it, within this whole year, they get Triple H, but under Triple H, we got The Rock for a moment. We got Randy Orton back. We got fucking CM Punk back. And now Priest is going to become the next champion. I feel like that is going to be, I think he's legitly next up, because this whole year was about building him. I feel like it really is.
And if you're going to coronate him, you have to give him at least a big enough crowd to make him feel important.
And to make them remember.
Right. So like the Raw after Survivor Series, and it also now makes the Raw after a pay-per-view so much more important. It's so much more important. And it's not just the Raw after Mania anymore.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say this. I was like, the shifting of pay-per-views from Sunday to Saturday actually works better now, like this aspect, because you have a day to sit on what just happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Monday night, like, okay, what's going to happen? Like today, like right now, today, we're speculating so much, right?
But still just happened.
Right. But if it was on a Sunday, like usually was, it's like, okay, oh shit, CM Punk came out. What's like we would have to done it like late at night last night, like, you know, Sunday. It would be crazy. And then it's like you have Raw like within 12 hours or 24 hours you're gonna watch. But now it's 48 hours later, you're gonna watch it. But we're like Jay saying, we're thinking where our mind is going. Our mind is like that meme from Sunshine and like with
Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, with the string theory, like
I'm just saying, like, which direction do you go? Because you got LA Knight, you have Yeah,
Again,
yeah.
and this is my point. You guys keep forgetting about the brand specificity. It doesn't always come into play, but when you have guys like LA Knight, it comes into play. He's only on SmackDown, guys, with guest appearances on Raw.
Oh, okay, so he's
Only
not
on SmackDown, so he does not factor into this.
all right. Well,
That is
then reverse it because CM Punk is the one who's the free agent. No,
right. So like he can feud with LA Knight, and that's cool.
We get a tease.
Yeah, you can get a tease of that
because
because again,
a lot of things with this.
because again, we've been teased with so much, but the at this point going into WrestleMania, the question I think is the Shield has elevated WWE and held down WWE for so long, and the Shield is still doing it. But don't have the Shield, what's next? And WWE has to answer those questions because they can't keep relying on the Shield anymore.
They're getting old now, man.
Yeah, they're getting older. Roman's in remission. Seth has back problems. Seth has a kid. Roman has multiple kids. Roman's going off to Hollywood soon. We cannot rely on the Shield anymore. But you've built out a stable where there are so many people. But you have to tell us who's next. We can't just say this guy is up and coming anymore. No. Give us a guy. Or give us the two guys.
Give us a guy or let us choose our guy and go with what we say.
Exactly.
Give me what I want.
Exactly.
We've been on for like 2.5 hours, y'all.
That's crazy, right? That's crazy.
But dude, it's so worth it, man. It's
I know. I'm not to apologize. I'm just saying. I'm just like, I didn't realize. I just looked up like, damn, 2.5. Like,
yeah, we were
I thought
going
it was
off.
just like an hour or so. Like, it just didn't feel like that long.
No, technically longer than that because we had to chit chat before we got on.
Yeah.
So
It's just one of those where it's like they give us so much content to talk about. It makes it hard to cut it down so short because even you guys are probably asking, where's Benny? Unfortunately, Benny has taken some time for personal reasons. We miss him. He's coming. He'll come back once he's ready, once he has things done. But even when it was me, Jay, and Benny, like we would talk, right, Jay? Like we would talk, and it would go off. One of us,
I did, yeah.
Yeah, it happens because like we're so into the shows and the storylines and everything. It's like, okay, what can you do? Okay, where's my brain going? Where am I going here?
Yeah, this was basically my life growing up with my dad and my siblings. Like we would just watch, talk shit, pick our favorites, do moves on each other, do the fucking entrances, and then just guess what was gonna happen next, and just go into a fucking rabbit hole about it. Like it's so much to the point where my stepmother, who was never an active watcher of wrestling, now is and has like a little nickname for every person. So because she doesn't know names so well, so she has a nickname for every person, and she follows she follows things and sees it and watches it with my dad and shit. It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, my whole household watches wrestling together. Like we sit down Monday night, Friday night, and on pay-per-views, me and my mom and my brother, and actively watch wrestling, which was something that like my mom hasn't watched since Hogan. My brother kind of got me back into it because I stopped watching because I'm like, Vince is just pissing me off now. I can't. Yeah. But like again, that's how good the product is now. Like
now
it's becoming more of what like it used to be, where people gather together to watch it as if it's a spectacle.
Yes. They need to treat wrestling like the way they treat fucking football. God damn it.
Right. Like that's but the fans have kind of made it that. So it's like that's why we can spend 2.5 hours doing this. Then again, Paul, I'm like, bro, you might as well just put this through like one of those editing machines and just kind of chop it up because like this 2.5 hours is too long. I'm not gonna lie.
We're live, bro. I can't do that. We're live.
You can't save it and then chop it up. What is this?
That's what I do on my Instagram lives. I have the live up there, but then I also screen record it and then I edit it in my own way to make it piece together, as opposed like depending on the topic I'm talking about. It's so fucking tedious and annoying, but hey.
Yeah. All right. So let's closing statements for the show and the little surprises and all that.
Is it Monday yet?
I
That's all I
think
got to say.
I can give it a 4 out of 5, but I think because of my imagination, I'm a little disappointed, but that's my own fault. I'm just curious to see. I'm curious to see what the play is. Like I'm impatiently waiting to see what the plan is here. Because Survivor Series wasn't the payoff that I feel like they needed.
It should have been.
Like,
oh, he's got a phone call coming in.
Ah,
That's what it is. Happened last time.
that's so funny. Oh,
No, I'll call you back. Just give me 15 minutes. Blah, 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 blah. Da, da, da. Yeah, I'll call you back. I'll call you back. Welcome back, Jay. And welcome back, Jay.
and go. And appear.
We're live, so it's just like I can't pause this.
It is what it is, y'all. You know.
Yeah.
We're all a work in progress.
Yeah. So you're waiting till Monday. So you're like, is it Monday yet?
Yeah. I want to know what the fuck is going on. Because they got me fucked up last night. Y'all got me Triple H. You got me fucked up last night. And yesterday I was so mad because at first I was really legitly thinking that Randy might have not showed up or wasn't gonna show up. He got cut up.
No, I just took him out. I'm looking at the side to see when he comes back on.
Oh, okay. But I really thought for a second that
Oh, he dropped.
that was gonna, yeah, like I don't know, man. I don't know what to expect. It's crazy. It's so crazy.
Yeah, I'm the same.
I was expecting a Survivor Series to be a banger based on all the other pay-per-views we had this year, because there was a highlight in every single pay-per-view this year and pops like crazy. But last night the pop didn't happen till the very, very end. It had nothing to do with any of the matches. But if he came out at the very end, and if you look at those, like Jay said, if you see those people in the ring, it's got to be somebody that has to do something that has to do with someone in that ring, and the most obvious choice was Seth. So it's got to be, you know.
So just to be clear, did I get kicked?
No, I put you like on the side to hide because you were like it was just blank screen. Because I guess
it was just a black screen.
You got a phone call, right?
I was literally in the middle of talking, and then like you guys went blank, and then I could still see and hear everything.
I thought you got a phone call. That's like
no, nothing happened. I was just in the middle of my statement. And,
oh my god, sorry. Bro.
I think we just
literally went black and we heard nothing anymore.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he probably got a phone call. Like, hey,
back off of it.
Hey, like, give me 15 minutes. I'll call you right back. And I was like,
nope.
Jay.
Nope.
Jay.
Nope.
Jay. I was like,
it literally just like the volume went down, so it just sounded muffled. Anyway, like I was saying, it's like you didn't answer any of the questions. You just created more questions. So I'm cautiously optimistic because it's like, all right, you've done this before. It tends to work out. We're fine. But for me, it's like my expectations are higher because this is supposed to be a Big 5 pay-per-view. And it didn't feel like a Big 5 pay-per-view. It just didn't. It like if you take out CM Punk, the War Games matches were fine, but the rest of the show was just okay. Yeah. And then the CM Punk thing, so it's like, oh no, it's a great pay-per-view. CM Punk and Randy Orton and R-Truth came back, and I'm like, that doesn't make a great pay-per-view. Like that just doesn't make a great pay-per-view.
No, it doesn't. And I was
not to mention, like Randy didn't even really wrestle, and that's another thing. Like Randy really didn't do anything.
Like I was upset about that.
That's it. Like
I said, y'all really gonna make me wait till the last 20-15 minutes to see this motherfucker do his thing?
And he didn't do nothing.
But it was also, just like, I guess it was just maybe they don't know exactly how cleared he is yet, so it was just a test run for his back because they didn't want to put too much on him.
Right.
I don't know if that's the case, then fine.
Yeah, I think that's what Triple H kind of hinted at. He was like, with his injury, like, I've been there, like they, you don't know if you're really going to come back or not, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So like, maybe that's just what it is. They didn't want to put too much on him and kind of just
I think it was just more so to protect Randy's injury and to keep him safe. But there was so many other ways that they could have worked that. So
Yeah.
many other ways they could have fucking worked that. So many. But
Because notice he
What-
actually he did two RKOs. He did one on Dom, who's like the smallest guy,
and
and then
JD.
he did the super RKO with JD.
I said the same thing when I saw it. I was like, that's a super RKO.
Yeah.
That's a super RKO. I'm sorry. That's a super RKO.
But again, it was more so like I'm gonna wait for you to fall and guide you to the floor. It wasn't like I'm gonna catch you, I'm gonna jump, catch you. Like it's not the same kind of impact.
no,
So
it wasn't. When I saw it, it was different. It wasn't
I was
regular
like,
RKO.
all right. I was like, all right, so yeah, it a lot about this pay-per-view just felt unsatisfying. Like it did what it was supposed to do, but this almost felt like it should have been one of those B tier pay-per-views with a really big match at the end.
I mean, overall, as trying to be as neutral as possible. Overall, if I had to grade the pay-per-view, I wouldn't call it fucking a 0, but I wouldn't call it a 10 either. So I got
No, like it's somewhere in the middle.
a 7-ish if you want, maybe a 8, because just simply because of the pop at the end. Simply right. But
I just feel like they missed the boat on so many programs.
and it's Survivor Series.
Yeah, and it's Survivor Series. So like I'm expecting carnage. I'm expecting messy. I'm expecting damn near disrespectful. And this felt very like orderly and clean cut. And I'm just like, ugh, this is fine, but like
And then at the end, fucking Triple H opens up this box with a key, or opens up with a key and opens this box and then presses the fucking red button that says detonate.
It's like
because he knew. You
it's
know
like
why?
having a
Because he knew that the pay-per-view wasn't going to be that good.
It's like you're going to a 5-star restaurant and you have like a 5-course meal and the food is good, but it's not what you expected it to be. And then you have a bomb ass dessert that is just like there's no way that they're actually
that you're still talking about the dessert more than you're talking about the entree.
Yeah, it's like, oh, so the restaurant's great, and it's like, no, it wasn't great. It was okay.
Just that one
dessert was fire.
Make a good one, yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of how I look at it, where it's like I'm nitpicking, and I know I'm nitpicking, but I feel like Triple H has created a standard where nitpicking is allowed.
Right. Yeah. But but overall, if without the nitpicking,
it was fine. It was fine.
It was fine. It was fine, and I'll take it. And guess what? You want to give me more questions and not give me any answers? Okay, fine. You want to keep me going down and getting sucked in? I'm gonna watch.
It's one of those.
You got me.
Trips has earned the ability.
I'm listening.
What's the word I'm looking for here? He's earned the
equity, the leeway.
Yes, thank you. The equity, where we're like, okay, damn, Trips, what are you doing? Like, okay, I trust you. I trust your creativity. I trust where you go with things. So it's like it's a healthy set of questions that we're asking. Right. It's not like when Vince was in charge. We're like asking,
what do you do?
Why?
Yeah,
for
why?
What reason?
Like I'm not slamming my desk and throwing shit. Yeah. I'm just okay. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you brought him this. You didn't do
what
this.
What did you do?
Why? Yeah. Let's see what you're doing here. Because Trips, because of the black and gold and what he did there, we were always intrigued. Like, okay, why did you do this? Why did you do that? Like, what's going on? Oh, okay. Like 6 months later, like, oh,
what are you doing?
That's why. So it's like he's earned the equity where when he plays the long game, it pays out. Unlike Vince, when he plays the long game, you're befuddled even worse.
Because it just gets scrapped.
It never paid off, or you're just like, okay, you just wasted 6 months. I could have just watched this on YouTube or read the cliff notes or something.
I guess we ain't seen nothing yet. This is only the beginning, guys.
No, but I don't see it past where he makes deadline more important than anything, because like Jay said, he's making the shows must see. You can't skip. Like, I'm agreeing because I'm missing Raw and SmackDown. I'm just like, okay, I missed some shit because I'm looking at the clips. I'm like, shit, I missed that and this. I'm like, I must.
Mhm.
There's a much more I must have missed.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't put it past him if he starts mixing NXT in there a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because
It creates, because again, it's now a situation where you have to watch NXT every week because you never know what little snippets are going to be sprinkled in, especially because
who's showing up.
because you know Judgment Day's on all 3 shows.
And not only that, but there's main roster people showing up to NXT. Becky,
Right.
LA Knight, Rhea Ripley, the whole Judgment Day, Undertaker. Well, he's not in the main roster, but you know what I'm saying. Like, there's
Yeah.
big names coming
Mhm.
into NXT out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah. So
And then again, you have people like Lyra Valkyria who shows up in a Becky Lynch, like, who's the NXT Women's Champion, showing up in a Becky Lynch versus Xia Li match. Like,
yeah.
what? That doesn't make sense.
I didn't
And
understand.
for me, the
want to
for
say
me,
that, but
the last minute show was more like I felt it was like somebody says, I'm gonna make you a steak dinner. I'm expecting filet mignon, and I get freaking
You get
Spring
ribeye
steak.
or T-bone. Like, you get a nice T-bone.
I get ground beef.
right.
Damn, I was trying to give him a little more credit than that, but
I mean, it's still steak. It's just not what I thought it was gonna be.
I mean,
Right.
damn, it wasn't ground beef though. It was at least a damn T-bone. Jesus.
If you take out CM Punk, if you take out the War Games, it's ground beef.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's turkey bacon. It's
He's-
turkey.
It's ground beef.
War Games was the sazon you added on top of that.
That's fair. That's fair.
CM Punk was the
Was the really nice dessert at the end.
yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
He was the fucking creme brulee.
Yeah, there you go.
Because I was eating that shit up.
But
Bro.
that being said, it was heck of a surprise.
Yep.
Good
Yeah.
to see Randy back.
I can't wait for tomorrow.
Yeah.
I just want to see what's happened. Now I want to see what's happened going forward. You see what happens when I tell y'all guys, just wait. Just wait.
Again, we still ain't never going to agree on the whole WrestleMania last year. Just wait, because I'm waiting and I don't see the point. Still don't see the point.
I don't know.
Adrenaline.
Well, thank you all for joining us, for being on for like almost 3 hours with us. It was fun. This is what we do. Don't forget, tomorrow Wrestling with Honey will be live on IG. Follow her, Wrestling with Honey, on her handle. She'll be streaming live while she's watching Raw,
Yes,
and
sir.
we're there sometimes as well in the chat.
Yeah, pop on in, say hello.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Bye.